That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the oh well. Need 100 million on the low scale. On my worst night, I'm the best nigga. Wouldn't mess with you, couldn't cap to him. Homie spotted me like 700, brought 1100 right back to him. If I can't do it, then it ain't real. I just make dollars, I don't make deals. I've been going hard in the paint, still blowing kush clouds till I can't feel like. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like. 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like. 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy crazy, oh oh crazy, oh 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy crazy, do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh.
Storylines going on. Walk us through what's going on.
Yeah, so basically, Resilient, of course, our lovely content writer here for Olympus League, considers these two teams the Goliaths, direct quote from the content there, of the Olympus League. So hopefully today will be a banger matchup. Also, kind of a bigger storyline, I think, for this week in general is we are kind of getting a little bit later into the season here, as we will be moving into draft here. So these games, right? The earlier games kind of don't matter as much, but these games, as you move in closer to the playoff season, do start to matter, right? So here, it does matter quite a bit, and this is kind of the battle for quote unquote first. Not that it is really that indicative. Iceborn, Crashouts, or Dolor could have a crash out later in the season. It doesn't matter. But still, J4 coming into the ban phase, Gwen coming into the ban phase here as well, as it really doesn't matter all that much as we lost draft on our end, so please hold as we're waiting for our draft.
I think I can see in a small picture here, but
there we go.
Like a Karma ban and a Victor. Some actual high priors being banned away here. Gwen falling out a little bit. Victor maybe not number one in the mid prio, but still good. Still tier list bans here, which is good to see in my opinion. Xin Zhao being banned away as well, another tier list jungler, really strong. The Java, the Wukong, and the Xin Zhao. As we get into our first pick here, lots of stuff still available.
Yeah, let's talk about some patch notes. By the way, Yunara very strong. Caitlyn hasn't been touched either, so also looking quite strong still. Gwen reverted back to kind of her bruiser style, weaker in lane, but Gwen enjoyers are praising this so far. She's looked quite good. Jinx is the answer into Caitlyn. I'd say this is kind of the Emerald staple. You just slam Jinx whenever you can, because why not? You get the reset, you win the team fight, that's all that matters. I think Galio blind pick. I think in high elo it's kind of rough because you can get counter picked. But it doesn't really matter that much because, let's face it, they're not about to slam an AD mid laner here. But the Galio answer
That's
into
not
the
bad.
Galio is an interesting answer. Being able to subjugate the Galio means the mage doesn't have to care about the Galio as much. But there's still certain things that can be picked into the Trundle to mitigate it. But Scion insta-pick here with the Gwyn ban is actually quite good, especially with the Gwyn
Yeah.
changes. So far, I think Strawberry kind of keeping it meta, and it will be the Lilia answer with the Galio. So, interesting choice, but I'm not going to say that I'm necessarily happy about the Lilia. I think there's other Lilia angles that are better than this one.
I'm quite a fan of the blue side comp so far. I mean, obviously going and picking tier list champions can be very risky if you're not comfortable on them, but every time I see a Jinx, I always think, it needs to be a team comp built around the Jinx. You have to have a protection, and Galio helps that, but does Lilia? You're able to ban away some of the things here on blue side, which you don't want to play against, which so far have just been some top lane counters, but for Ice, banning away some things that, in my opinion, do well with the Jinx, right? Emilio, not bad. Nico, very high prior support that not a whole lot of counters to that. And Bessa, the option into Scion, pretty common right now that we've seen in pro play.
Yeah, so far, I'd say everything, besides, like, the Jinx is a little bit kind of like the quirky, I guess, answer, realistically, for Emerald.
Ooh.
As it will be Janna, Caitlyn bot lane, which is quite odd, but, I think Janna's a great support. I think she's been a great support for so long. It's just, no one really plays her, and Talia coming in as an answer into the Ambessa is also quite strong. Does need to be a little bit mindful of the Galio matchup a little bit. Is going to struggle quite a bit because it's not like Talia is ever killing Galio, but okay, well, this bot lane is just battle of the enchanters for sure. Doesn't really matter. Like, no one in this lane is going to do anything besides the supports. So I don't know, kind of a scaling comp here for Iceborn, but I'm not necessarily happy. Like, I think the Galio was a great pick. It does actually solve some problems. If your Lilia goes in, you can utilize the Galio ult to go in with the Lilia. You can utilize the Galio ult to kind of bail out your Jinx. But I kind of err on the side of caution when you're picking something like the Sona here, because it is really slow. It takes so long to scale on this champ to, like, really get value out of it. Whereas, like, Janna, she does scale herself. She is an enchanter, but she does definitely have immediate impact comparatively.
The thing is here with this bot lane, Oz, is, I mean, I sent you that tweet the other day about enchanter support. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, Sona has been a conversation on Twitter recently, just due to the fact that the conversation is it scales really, really well. Hyper late game scaling support, which is a bit of a, kind of ironic sentence in general, but it's a weak early game. Everyone knows Sona's weak early game. Even if the conversation is she's going to carry you through the late game, which is debatable, it's got a weak early game. Jinx has some good level 1 pressure and can get the push with the rockets, the AoE, some good range, and does scale really well into the late game. But on the other side, you're against a Caitlyn, who is a really strong level 1, really strong level 1 through 6 as well, and a Janna, who also does well in lane, right? Good range, great interrupt, good poke, good shielding. I'm worried for Ice here in the bot lane, but I mean, they've got great scaling. Lilia does well. They've got a good matchup in the mid. If it's isolated away from the Trundle, which will that happen? We'll have to see. But we're going to take a quick tech pause as some issues are coming through on our end. So we'll be back in a few minutes for hopefully our Game 1 start. We'll be right back. Oh, we are back at draft, but there we go. We are in to our game. Now, I just have to say to production, we are hearing the game from a different computer as well. So there is a lot of noise going on right now, but we are in our game. Game 1, the Strawberries against the Icebergs. And Oz, you were talking to me a little bit earlier when we were in that break about the Trundle matchup into Lilia, how it can be kind of hard for the Lilia to move around the map.
Yeah, I mean, the slow, but also kind of eyes here on Coco, because Coco also, on the Sona, very easy to just get picked off. Seismic Shove, excellent tool. The Pillar, also an excellent tool into the Sona as well. You know, one of the biggest assets to Sona is her E, which is the bonus move speed, as we'll get the stream back up in a second, so please hold. But yeah, overall, I think Sona in general can have a very difficult time in playing this game out, if possible. Like, if they can find the angles right on Strawberry. Also to mention, this is the first time I'm seeing the Strawberry logo, and I don't know why they're sad. Like, they're like up here winning a lot. Like, shrug.
Just a sad Strawberry, man. You know, Strawberries can be sad. All right. We get a bit of a trade here in the bot lane. Audio sounds lovely now. Happy that it's all fixed, but some sad Strawberries against some Icebergs here in our first game. Jungler starting on the opposite sides of the map. The Raptors warded on both sides, so both junglers will know which side each other's going to. Most likely a scuttle trade. If this game's going to blow open Oz in the early game, which the game has been more dragon skirmishy focused of recent, but if it was to blow open early, what do you think these teams are targeting?
Honestly, I really think that at least for Strawberry here, I think, you know, trying to pick out like something like the Sona is going to be a big tool. Especially if, you know, Coco is forced to blow the flash early, you get the, you know, you get a pillar or like a flash chomp, and then you force out Zona Flash due to the slow, and then you follow up with a pillar after the fact. Like, that's a really great gank strategy here. It's actually trading the top side.
Oh, 1v1 in top side coming through, but that's some biscuits. Flash forward, never mind. Solo kill from Darrow at nearly 3 minutes in. A really good start for the Scion in a supposed counter matchup.
Really nice seismic shove there from Badger, but yeah, overall, Darrow hopping off in the early game. Now, granted, Ambessa's early game is not that great, as Super Beans looking for a gank here in the mid lane. Oh, nice seismic shove.
Shove back, flashed away, and the pillar is out. Oh, very close to being taken down. I didn't also realize this a little bit earlier, but it looks kind of like that 3 of the members from Ice here are on Gen G. It kind of reads that way. But a really nice visit into the mid lane. Will force flash out of Galio to make this lane just a little bit harder. But really nice patience from Kleos. And manages to survive.
Yeah, something to mention, a lot of poke coming through onto Coco, as we were talking about the early game woes of the Zona, but Super Beans committing to that gank at level 3 with both the red buff and the Krugs up is actually putting himself down so much jungle tempo. Just now hitting level 4 right before 4 minutes ticks is not ideal at all, especially when you're into something that is just going to hyper farm and out clear you anyways, like the Lilia will. So you did obviously get the flash blown off of the Galio, but in the end, are you really going to be able to regank this and kill him before the flash comes up is, I guess, something to be determined. But sacrificing that much tempo, in my mind, at the very least, doesn't seem that worth it.
Look at all the wards as well. Red side wards up in that top lane, littered down the river and on the jungle camps, and then blue side wards littered all through the jungle and in some brushes on the bot side. So teams playing around what side they want, nearly caught out with both the shove there and the pillar trying to repeat gank like you were touching on before. 10 seconds until this first Drake spawns. With the bot lane and jungle resetting for the Strawberries here. Maybe we've had a bit of a side change actually, as Strawberries on the right side now. But Dragon should be started up and taken pretty much for free.
Yeah, it should be a free dragon here. That's to be expected. Bot lane with the Caitlyn able to bully out a little bit here. Darrow still performing quite well into the Ambessa matchup. Again, still Scion favored in the early game. Ambessa needing levels to really start heavily trading. But also kind of looks like Sakowitz here in the top lane, just not utilizing the Martial Poise passive. That's Callista's passive, but just but anyways, just not really utilizing the dashes to avoid
the original
the
passive.
Yeah, the original one. But oh, great trade coming out actually from Strawberry's bot lane here is kind of Bing chilling at the moment. I actually don't know if this. Oh.
Might be caught out in the river here, but with the movement speed passive, gets knocked up or flash away from the unstoppable onslaught and the flick back from Concerned Badger. Yengu most likely needed to flash anyway, was caught, so could have gone into the pit and flashed over. Tried to not use it, but had to use it in general. At the end, nice pickoffs here of the flashes. Iceborn so far playing pretty slow. That first kill was nice on the Scion with the solo kill, but it's been conserved gameplay, just pulling flashes, maybe a revisit here and there. No man on Concerned Badger. Bit concerned about that, but should be able to get a push out here of his own and take a base. No tier buy early, like I know that you're a fan of, but we're seeing, I guess, what happens when you don't get that tier early.
Yeah, it doesn't have the Lost Chapter buy either, which is interesting. I mean, we could just not have a tier Talia, is possible, but doesn't seem the best thing to do, especially with the amount of damage that can kind of come through onto you, is once again having some problems, but we'll get right back into it. But overall, I will say that right now we are kind of expecting, as we see the swap up in the
lane swap
here. Yeah. Yengu,
quite nice.
Spot wave is actually kind of good for the Lilia here. Some extra gold, but nice poke.
Yeah, that's the early game weakness of the Sona, knocked up by a really nice tornado from Jae Young. No trap underneath as well, so can imagine how much damage that would have been if it would have been a full Caitlyn combo. Nice roam as well from Concerned Badger after shoving in the mid lane as grubs are spawning in about 5 seconds. Prio in mid and top. No ult for Darrow, but Prio in that bot lane too from the Scion, so these grubs should go pretty handily over. First grub does indeed go over as Yengu tries to sweep out the river and maybe take a catch on the Concerned Badger, but the bowling ball will miss, so Lilia will be spotted out and come to the team where they are. There's a bit of a sandwich here, but no ult for Cocoa here. Means that there's really no engage. This grub will most likely be stolen away here.
What?
No! Really nice engage here as the Hero's entrance is mirrored in, dash through, and the taunt onto 2. TP in as well from Ambessa, flash away from Young, and here comes the unstoppable on top to try to change the fight around Yengu. Doesn't get knocked up. Sakowitz in as well, flashing onto Super Beans. It's a 2-for-1 right now. The fight continues on, a little bit of poke, but 3 grubs do go over to Iceborn. The bowling ball will miss. Turn Badger finds a nice double shove, and Darrow is still here to keep the chase on. Snipe away. And Concerned Badger will take Yengu out with a nice position from Young. So the fight and the grubs go in favor of Iceborn.
My goodness. I'm going to say Concerned Badger with the shoves there, very critical. And also a very early smite from Yengu out of nowhere. Means they lose all 3 grubs randomly, which is really, really, really bad, as shove will miss there. But just really interesting look from Strawberry Dolor here is, again, their comp is designed around scaling, so they really don't have this kind of mid game, and we saw it there. They just really didn't have the damage despite a 3-man sleep coming through. It's just not enough damage to come through, but just still an interesting look. Obviously, you don't want to give up the grubs, but Yengu smiting early is just worst case scenario for sure. Smited 200 HP early, and it allowed Super Beats to come in, sweep up the last grub there. But yeah, I don't know. I think realistically, Strawberry Dolor just they need to let themselves scale up a little bit. Now, if you didn't have like necessarily the like Sona or something to like really pull something out, maybe there's a world. But when both supports are level 5, Janna will just get more value because of Tornado, just due to the fact that it is just added CC, where Sona literally has nothing in that. No Crescendo available. It's available now though, so potential chance around the Drake, but it is going to be started up here by Super Beans.
Yep, the lane priors will remain in mid and bot. So this second Drake should, again, pretty easily be going over to Iceborn as the rocket comes through, but will be blocked away by Jae Young. Really nice positioning to preempt that dragon. Sorry, to preempt that dragon steal from the rocket. So 2 Drakes over. It's Infernal Soul this game as well, which is pretty devastating with a Caitlyn. Hold on, knock up on the Sakowitz, and yeah, he just got nuked.
Check Scion items, chat. It is double Giant's Belt. So not even lethality Scion, and he's still doing that much damage. But a lot of prio coming through on this bot side. Tornado will knock up both.
Pain blocked. The ace in the hole there, but Jae Young forced to use ult. Caught by the Crescendo. Flash in from Lilia. Will miss the spin. Super Beans as well. Uses Subjugate, but is forced to back away as the Strawberries kite back just a little bit. Kleos hovering just outside of the entrance to the Dragon Pit with ult ready in pocket, as Concerned Badger had already rotated down with ult in pocket as well. But the fight will fizzle out.
Oh man. It's just so tragic, I feel like Denku just already not having a great set, but that should have been a completely free kill. Should have just been a free kill.
It's 12 minutes in. It's a little bit, it's getting late. I mean, what is it? What is it in the States right now? Yeah, 9:30. I mean, yeah, we gotta re-wake back up. It's just a little bit of a misplay here. It's only 12 minutes in. We have plenty of time to catch back up. I think that the Lilia, and you were talking earlier before about how hard this matchup can be for the Lilia, but there's also the range as well. It's not just the Trundle, it's the Caitlyn, it's the Talia's range, the peel from the Janna. I'm hoping that Yengu can find some angles here, maybe when Sakowitz joins in these fights.
Yeah, I agree as well. And, they do have the public execution there if they want to utilize it. But so far, still, early game comp is getting ahead early, and scaling comp falling behind, which is pretty much on brand for what you're expected to see. A lot of early game presence coming through here from Iceborn. But Darrow really right now just super ahead. Already Heartsteel online. Is up 30 CS as well. Sakowitz struggling quite a bit in this matchup in particular. Down about a level, so I really find a hard belief that this Ambessa is going to be able to catch back up, unless something drastically happens to kind of spin the matchup back in her favor. Maybe getting the shutdown on the Scion would help, but it's so hard for them to actually get that done because Lilia doesn't really have great lockdown and outside of sleep, and even then Darrow can just ult it. So,
well, first items being completed for everyone, pardon me, for everyone on Iceborn except for Jae Young, who's opted to go for the Swifties to delay that first item. Spike does have the support item upgraded already, but now, as I say that, Strawberries will all take a reset and match the first item completed on the other side. So relatively, these teams are close in their power spikes right now. Iceborn did have a window. Yengu going to be caught out here as he face checks the brush, but really nice sweeper. Good predict will save this Dia's life, but the tower, not as lucky. Potentially Yengu walking forward here gets netted. Kleos goes in to try to peel, but the tower will fall. Kleos is knocked up and Super Beans is chasing forward. Subjugate has been used. And Kleos, with a little bit less protections, will dash in and flash away as well before being taken down with the ace in the hole. Now there's a TP in from Mbessa. Here's a big double sleep. Catches the Caitlyn, and Super Beans flashes away. The chase is now on. Flash in public execution, lands on the Young Jay, who a beautiful ult peels away the wall as well as Concerned Badger has joined the fight. Young Jay, another great tornado to stop the engage in its tracks. But meanwhile, Super Beans has started off the Herald, a beautiful shove in onto this Jinx, but a crescendo won't save this Jinx's life. Strawberries are using all of their tools to try to get something, but Oz, it's a 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get the fight breakdown here, but realistically, Strawberry, again, they can't really do anything right now. Their comp is so weak early, and unfortunately, Yangu not able to block the ace in the hole there. Decent attempt by Kleos, though, to try and save himself, but really nice trap here from We'll Show Them All. Delays Sakowitz's public execution. Lands on Jae Young, but a nice flash. Dodges both the Q1 coming out of Mbessa and also the rocket. And then Concerned Badger splits up the fight with the Weaver's Wall. And that's all she wrote here is Concerned Badger's going to hit a very great seismic shove.
They've been solid.
Yeah, I know. Really solid seismic shoves in the fights. Also in the picture in picture, they are going to get the mid tower as well and the dragon. So really, the game is falling apart for Strawberry. I really think this Sona pick just does not bring anything for them to like really leverage into like something that is so mid game dominant against Iceborn that they are just kind of bleeding out across the map. It is obviously a little unfortunate that their Mbessa matchup is not going the way of the Mbessa, right? Like with the counter pick, like they got behind, oh, so be it. But realistically, it just feels so hard for Strawberry to really do anything because they just don't really have great tools of like turning things around. Crescendo, kind of short range, and you kind of need all your set pieces to be there. And the sleep did hit 3 people, but it ultimately didn't do anything because they just didn't have enough follow-up. So just Strawberry right now, again, still kind of need to scale before they can start looking for these like turnaround plays, but it is going to be quite a while.
Well, let's do a bit of house checking here, housekeeping. 8-1 lead the kills for Iceborn. 3 Drakes. Soul Point on Infernal Soul as well. 3 Grubs for Iceborn. Herald for Iceborn wasn't used to crack that mid tower either, so still in the pocket of Super Beans. Quick math on cast tells me this is, hold on, maybe Sakowitz walking in, but just some vision clear out here from Darrow. It's a lot of gold is the lead right now. About a 6k gold lead here for Iceborn, which is pretty devastating when you're in this scaling comp. I mean, my Twitter tells me that if Sona can just get to 25-30 minutes, the game is over, but this is not a ranked game, Oz. This is a coordinated game where Sona will be the target of the fight. Still has not completed a single item. No boots, no first item. It was delayed due to the tier and is also going into a damage item, it seems, as Darrow will be the focus here. Yangu, has pathed up onto Darrow, but this Sion is really tanky and doesn't even have any true protections yet. Just has those upgraded Merc Treads, or can be upgraded. A bit of MR in spare change and a couple of stacks on this Heart Seal, but already the Scion is feeling unkillable.
Also, interestingly, to note, he's playing into an Mbessa and has 0 armor because he was winning the matchup so hard, which is very telling on the state of the game right now. Very, very, very telling. But something to like mention, it is going to be the Seraphs coming out for Coco here, which is interesting to say the least, considering Redemption is the best support item in the entire game, to the point that literally all supports are building it first every single game. So, curious as to why we're building Seraphs as if we're the carry this game. Anyways, doesn't really matter. If they can scale, there is a world where they do outscale, right? They have the tools to outscale. The problem is again, they're bleeding so much, but maybe a pick on a Concerned Badger could be the
flash
answer.
away from the taunt will give a little bit of life for Concerned Badger here. Flash away from the shove, but the sleep and the taunt and the knock-up will be Concerned Badger falling down. Big shutdown taken by Yengu. Nearly KS'd by the Jinx here with that Super Mega Death Rocket, but Atakan has spawned and 0 vision anywhere As Iceborn start this up, mid-tower is completely open for the taking. Jaeyoung now rotating down to try to clear out this wave to stop the objective bounty going in favor of the Strawberries. The wave hasn't really been fully taken as the ult will be utilized to knock out the minions and Strawberries away from the tower as Atakan will be secured. 38 flowers as here comes the unstoppable onslaught. Flashed away, but a double knock-up will find two and a pillar will slow it down. Super Beans marches forward onto Yengu, who's trying to kite away but won't get far. Taken down.
No ult.
Herald will be spawned and charges down the mid lane. Nearly misses as well, but gets off the charge. Down in the bot lane, Concerned Badger is fighting a 1v1 against Kleos, who's blocked by the Talia and taken down. A beautiful solo kill. The aggression still coming out in mid. So much knockups and range from the Caitlyn and the Janna as the Scion marches forward. Darrow, the spearhead of this comp right now, the tier 3 now getting cracked out, and the Strawberries have nothing to do but just watch and try as they might to clear out this wave. Iceborn really want to end this game quickly. The Drake is 15 seconds away. Infernal Soul for them if they get it. And so far, the Strawberries really have nothing to do but watch.
Yeah, and again, I fear that it's just too slow of a comp to really have like enough gas to get anything going in a meaningful amount of time. As Soul uncontested, you're going the way of Iceborn, and it's going to be the Infernal Soul, where in reality you really don't have that many tanky options, right? The Ambessa's kind of fake tank Jaeyoung.
Caught out here is Gokuwa and forces protection out from Kleos. Public Execution will miss, but Jaeyoung will be taken down. That's a shutdown, but it's claimed by the Galio.
A Q-tick nonetheless, which is unfortunate here for Strawberry, but maybe they can pull themselves back with these kind of like random like interplays that's kind of happening where they're able to find a pick, but still they're facing 6k gold down. Atacon adding 3k to that, and also the Soul adding 3k to that. Might as well just be 12k difference in terms of objectives. In fact, it's been all objectives to Iceborn this match. Literally no single jungle objective. Hold that thought.
Tower. Darrow taunted up here, but this Scion now has MR and is very tanky. Chooses to go the other direction into the enemy base direction. Darrow still fighting off this 1v2 as his team starts to rotate over. But he's buying so much time, and his health bar is now starting to fall. Unstoppable onslaught forwards, and the double knock-up. This Scion finally gets taken down, but Caitlyn gets a double kill. That's another shutdown over to the Strawberries. But the base is slowly breaking apart. The Infernal Soul, the group red buff and blue buff, just so far seems too much for the Strawberries. There's a really nice Weaver's Wall to cut off the retreat.
Shove.
The encore feels nice, but a really nice shove will crack open this first inhibitor turret. Now the inhibitor getting focused on as well as the mid inhibitor turret is also falling low. Most likely the option next, but the wave isn't in a perfect position. So Iceborn will take almost all, but not the game just yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, because Darrow does eventually go down, it is actually kind of hard for them to siege because they don't really have that like beefy front line. But Public Execution, it finds Badger.
Lands onto Badger. The shove away is nice, but there's another kill for the Strawberries as this is a position where it's about a 99% finished match here for Iceborn, but they continuously are making these small mistakes that with a better team playing against you, they won't, you know, if the early game wasn't as good, as yeah, back in picture it live, looks like Jaeyoung has been taken down, was caught up by some CC, will show them all, will force a flash away, the Super Mega Death Rocket will be blocked by Super Beans, but this turret is very, very low. But what I was saying was, as this turret will fall, that's an objective bounty, and again, these small mistakes are happening. If the early game didn't go as well as it did for Iceborn, Strawberries would be in the lead now. It's just Infernal Soul, still the 3 grubs, and this gold lead that is slowly but surely shrinking now. But Iceborn, these are some crucial mistakes you cannot be making.
Yeah, I mean, also, again, unfortunately, Jinx not able to pick up any of the kills. That's kind of why I made that little noise, because they really should give over the Jinx the kill. But Baron being pulled up here by Iceborn. Janna will be here very shortly.
9k reads the Baron's HP. Gengu does have Smite and Flash on a ward as well. So we'll be able to steal if possible. The execution is in, and it is stolen. Objective bounty for the Strawberries. The Grand Entrance will land, knocking up members, and here's the taunt. 2-man. The Concerned Badger will find the first one onto Sakowitz. That's a kill on the top laner, and a beautiful Weaver's Wall to continue on the fight, but Yengu will find Jaeyoung on the other side. Super Beans trades that onto Cleos as the fight is winning for Iceborn. The wave as well is in a good spot. Yengu now being chased out. TP into the top lane. The game might just be over, Oz. It was a really nice Baron steal, an objective shutdown, but the fight goes in favor of Iceborn.
Well, there will be a consolation kill, but this will be the game indeed, I believe. Maybe? Surely.
The turrets are being broken now. There's 3 members against 1 Lonely Deer and a really nice shove. We'll take that kill. Even if Sakowitz manages to kill everybody here, there's still a Scion passive. So Iceborn Crashouts will not crash out in game 1 after losing the Baron, and will take the first game.
Interestingly enough there, I think it's just Strawberry. They just bite off way too much they can chew. It felt like Cleos went for the heroic sacrifice, saying, we got the Baron, try to get out. But they still try to commit to the fight for some reason. They go in, go for the fight, instead of just sacking Cleos. Cleos very happy to just sack there. So ultimately, it is going to be the Crashouts who win this game, but if one dragon doesn't go their way, if maybe the Atacon contest was a little messy, right? Like, if there even was one, to be fair, but
yeah,
I would say, realistically here, that this very clearly could have gone the way towards, like, Strawberry, especially just getting picked out randomly, and, like, or some of the kills go Jinx's way, right? Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, just Strawberry just unable to give any Jinx kills this game. But that's kind of where you have to, like, what you have to rely on. The Ambessa is way too far behind, so giving gold to the Ambessa is just not worth it at all. In fact, the Ambessa's second item, a Serpent's Fang. So, like, the Ambessa is completely worthless outside of the Serpent's Fang. No reason to put gold on it anymore. But the Jinx not able to find gold is also such a massive impact here for Strawberry that they had some great moments at the end there. The Baron steal was fantastic, but unfortunately, they just bled so much in the early game, and that kind of goes back to maybe the question, was the Sona worth it?
and that's a question that he seems going to have to pour over. A really strong early game with a really strong early game comp here. Some misplays towards the later end of the game, but ending up finishing it up in a relatively clean fashion with a nice fight. We're going to take a short break before our Game 2 draft and game starts. So take a quick break yourself, and then meet us back here in a few minutes. We'll see you soon. to do but watch.
Yeah, and again, I fear that it's just too slow of a comp to really have like enough gas to get anything going in a meaningful amount of time. As Soul uncontested here, going the way of Iceborn, and it's gonna be maybe a pick on a Concerned Badger. Could be
Good
the
flash
answer.
away from the taunt will give a little bit of life for Concerned Badger here. Flash away from the shove, but the sleep and the taunt, and we take a catch on the Concerned Badger, but the bowling ball will miss, so Ilya will be spotted out and calm to the team. Where they are, there's a bit of a sandwich here, but no ult for Cocoa here. Means that there's really no engage. This grub will most likely be stolen
quite
away
early,
here.
what?
No. Really nice engage here as the Hero's entrance is mirrored in, dash through, and the taunt onto two. TP in as well from Mbessa, flash away from Young, and here comes the on top to try to change the fight around Yengu. Doesn't get knocked up, Sakowitz in as well, flashing onto Super Beans. It's a 2-for-1 right now. The fight continues on, a little bit of poke, but 3 grubs do go over to Iceborn. The bowling ball will miss. Turn Badger finds a nice double shove, and Daru is still here to keep the chase on.
Maybe? Surely.
The turrets are being broken now. There's 3 members against 1 lonely deer and a really nice shove. Will 9k reads the Baron's HP. Yengu does have smite and flash on a ward as well. So we'll be able to steal if possible. The execution is in, and it is stolen. Objective bounty for the Strawberries. The green entrance will let flash away as well before being taken down with the ace and hold. Now there's a TP in from Mbessa. Here's a big double sleep. Catches the Caitlyn and Super Beans flashes away. The chase is now on. Flash in public execution lands on the Young Day, who a beautiful ult peels away the wall as well as Concerned Badger has joined the fight. Young Jay, another great tornado to stop the engage in its tracks. But meanwhile, Super Beans has started off the Herald, a beautiful shove in onto this Jinx, but the crescendo.
I think, you know, trying to pick out like something like the Sona is gonna be a big tool. Especially if, you know, Coco is forced to blow the flash early, you get the, you know, you get a pillar or like a flash chop, and then you force out Sona flash due to the slow, and then you follow up with a pillar after the fact. Like, that's a really great gank strategy here. It's actually trading the top side.
Oh, 1v1 in top side coming through, but that's a bit to do but watch.
Yeah, and again, I fear that it's just too slow of a comp to really have like enough gas to get anything going in a meaningful amount of time. As Soul uncontested here, going the way of Iceborn, and it's gonna be maybe a pick on a Concerned Badger. Could be
Good
the
flash
answer.
away from the taunt will give a little bit of life for Concerned Badger here. Flash away from the shove, but the sleep and the taunt, and you take a catch on the Concerned Badger, but the bowling ball will miss, so Ilya will be spotted out and calm to the team. Where they are, there's a bit of a sandwich here, but no ult for Cocoa here. Means that there's really no engage. This grub will most likely be stolen
quite
away
early,
here.
what?
No. Really nice engage here as the Hero's entrance is mirrored in, dash through, and the taunt onto two. TP in as well from Mbessa, flash away from Young, and here comes the on top to try to change the fight around Yengu. Doesn't get knocked up, Sakowitz in as well, flashing onto Super Beans. It's a 2-for-1 right now. The fight continues on, a little bit of poke, but 3 grubs do go over to Iceborn. The bowling ball will miss. Turn Badger finds a nice double shove, and Daru is still here to keep the chase on.
Maybe? Surely.
The turrets are being broken now. There's 3 members against 1 lonely deer and a really nice shove. Will 9k reads the Baron's HP. Yengu does have smite and flash on a ward as well. So we'll be able to steal if possible. The execution is in, and it is stolen. Objective bounty for the Strawberries. The green entrance will let flash away as well before being taken down with the ace and hold. Now there's a TP in from Mbessa. Here's a big double sleep. Catches the Caitlyn and Super Beans flashes away. The chase is now on. Flash in public execution lands on the Young Day, who a beautiful ult peels away the wall as well as Concerned Badger has joined the fight. Young Jay, another great tornado to stop the engage in its tracks. But meanwhile, Super Beans has started off the Herald, a beautiful shove in onto this Jinx, but the crescendo.
I think, trying to pick out like something like the Sona is going to be a big tool. Especially if, Coco is forced to blow the flash early, you get you get a pillar or like a flash chop, and then you force out Zona Flash due to the slow, and then you follow up with a pillar after the fact. Like, that's a really great gank strategy here. It's actually trading the top side.
Oh, 1v1 in top side coming through, but that's a
Oh!
bit to do but watch.
Yeah, and again, I fear that it's just too slow of a comp to really have like enough gas to get anything going in a meaningful amount of time. As Soul uncontested here, going the way of Iceborn, and it's going to be maybe a pick on a concerned Badger. Could be
Good
the
flash
answer.
away from the taunt will give a little bit of life for Concerned Badger here. Flash away from the shove, but the sleep and the taunt, and you take a catch on the Concerned Badger, but the bowling ball will miss, so Lilia will be spotted out and calm to the team. Where they are, there's a bit of a sandwich here, but no ult for Cocoa here. Means that there's really no engage. This grub will most likely be stolen
quite
away
early,
here.
what?
No! Really nice engage here as the Hero's entrance is mirrored in, dash through, and the taunt onto 2. TP in as well from Mbessa, flash away from Young, and here comes the unstoppable onslaught to try to change the fight around Yengu. Doesn't get knocked up, Sakowitz in as well, flashing onto Super Beans. It's a 2-for-1 right now. The fight continues on, a little bit of poke, but 3 grubs do go over to Iceborn. The bowling ball will miss. Turn Badger finds a nice double shove, and Daru is still here to keep the chase on.
Maybe? Surely.
The turrets are being broken now. There's 3 members against 1 lonely deer and a really nice shove. Will 9k reads the Baron's HP. Gengu does have smite and flash on a ward as well. So we'll be able to steal if possible. Public execution is in, and it is stolen. Objective bounty for the Strawberries. The Grand Entrance will let flash away as well before being taken down with the ace in the hole. Now there's a TP in from Mbessa. Here's a big double sleep. Catches the Caitlyn, and Super Beans flashes away. The chase is now on. Flash in, public execution lands on the Young Jay, who a beautiful ult peels away the wall as well as Concerned Badger has joined the fight. Young Jay, another great tornado to stop the engage in its tracks. But meanwhile, Super Beans has started up the Herald, a beautiful shove in onto this Jinx, but a crescendo.
I think, trying to pick out like something like the Sona is going to be a big tool. Especially if, Coco is forced to blow the flash early, you get you get a pillar or like a flash chop, and then you force out Zona Flash due to the slow, and then you follow up with a pillar after the fact. Like, that's a really great gank strategy here. It's actually trading the top side.
Oh, 1v1 in top side coming through, but that's a bit to do but watch.
Yeah, and again, I fear that it's just too slow of a comp to really have like enough gas to get anything going in a meaningful amount of time. As Soul uncontested here, going the way of Iceborn, and it's going to be maybe a pick on a concerned Badger. Could be
Good
the
flash
answer.
away from the taunt will give a little bit of life for Concerned Badger here. Flash away from the shove, but the sleep and the taunt, and you take a catch on the Concerned Badger, but the bowling ball will miss, so Lilia will be spotted out and calm to the team. Where they are, there's a bit of a sandwich here, but no ult for Cocoa here. Means that there's really no engage. This grub will most likely be stolen
quite
away
early,
here.
what?
No! Really nice engage here as the Hero's entrance is mirrored in, dash through, and the taunt onto 2. TP in as well from Mbessa, flash away from Young, and here comes the unstoppable onslaught to try to change the fight around Yengu. Doesn't get knocked up, Sakowitz in as well, flashing onto Super Beans. It's a 2-for-1 right now. The fight continues on, a little bit of poke, but 3 grubs do go over to Iceborn. The bowling ball will miss. Turn Badger finds a nice double shove, and Daru is still here to keep the chase on.
Maybe? Surely.
The turrets are being broken now. There's 3 members against 1 lonely deer and a really nice shove. Will 9k reads the Baron's HP. Gengu does have smite and flash on a ward as well. So we'll be able to steal if possible. Public execution is in, and it is stolen. Objective bounty for the Strawberries. The Grand Entrance will let flash away as well before being taken down with the ace and hold. Now there's a TP in from Mbessa. Here's a big double sleep. Catches the Caitlyn and Super Beans flashes away. The chase is now on. Flash in public execution lands on the Young Jay, who a beautiful ult peels away the wall as well as Concerned Badger has joined the fight. Young Jay, another great tornado to stop the engage in its tracks. But meanwhile, Super Beans has started up the Herald, a beautiful shove in onto this Jinx, but a crescendo.
I think, you know, trying to pick out like something like the Sona is going to be a big tool. Especially if, you know, Coco is forced to blow the flash early, you get the, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Titan Esports. I need to sit up. I look way too short here. For the Strawberries up against Iceborn Crashouts. We're in Game 2 draft. Iceborn Crashouts had a very, very dominant early game in that Game 1 and carried that forward nearly the entire game. There were some small missteps towards the end, but they closed it out relatively cleanly. Oz, Game 2 draft here, pretty similar to Game 1 so far in the bans.
Yeah, looking like the bans staying the same for the most part. I will say as well that I think J4, pretty standard to ban. I think it's a really great champ, especially if you're going to draft something that is immobile. It did really make a lot of sense, you know, to pick things out that... Well, honestly, I kind of find it interesting that Iceborn banned it last game because they ultimately drafted things like Caitlyn Janna, so like J4 kind of has like no factor, but I digress. The Aphelios ban is interesting coming out from Strawberry though, as hopefully looking to pick up something quite strong here on B1, and I'm sure they have something. And if we're talking about like the changes from, you know, last game to this game, Xin Zhao just more consistent jungler, so doesn't give away anything. I really want to see Strawberry, like, they need some kind of lane to like prevent Iceborn from just rolling the map the entire like match, which they didn't really have last game, right? They had the Galio into Litalia, which is not really like a winning matchup, but it's a pretty neutral matchup. It's like a Gragas matchup. You had a losing bot lane, and then your Mbessa ultimately started losing, but we had the Wukong Orianna coming through, which pretty favored matchup, or 2v2, I suppose. Yeah. Coming in from Iceborn.
Well, the Xin Zhao and the Wukong bans don't come through for this game, and both of them get handshake traded. The Orianna and Wukong, like you said, very strong combo. Could have been paired with the Xin Zhao, so it is also a bit of a takeaway. Lysandra picked here for the Strawberries, and the Cassante as well. Really strong blind for the Cassante. Lysandra, more of a counter pick than anything. So far, good into the Wukong, but I'm not convinced that now is the best spot to pick it as well. The Volibear, I guess that's going into the top lane as the Wukong has already been picked, so no flex potential there.
Yeah, and the Wukong into the Cassante can have a pretty decent matchup. I will say if the Volibear does ever try to join fights, the Lysandra also makes that a little hard just due to the W and the ultimate. So potentially kind of counterpicking themselves if the Volibear does try to team fight. Granted, Volibear not the great team fighter to start with, so not really that big of a deal. Will also struggle into something like the Cassante as well. Like the Cassante can, you know, use the all out to just pull them away from the fight if it's really a problem, or just use the W. So interesting pick with the Volibear. Hopefully going to get that side lane dominance, but keeping the Wombo combo alive going here strong for Iceborn with the MF pick.
They banned away both Leona and Braum and then picked MF. And I get the, okay, Braum, ban away, sure. But Leona goes really well with with MF, sorry. As a lot of the supports banned away here, picking the MF first feels a bit awkward. Going to be the Nami, obviously. Very standard, classic pair up here. And what do you go now? A Rel angle, maybe an Alistair here for Iceborn. They're fairly short-ranged in general. The Alistair would give another ball delivery service, as it is going to be the Alistair, but a decent counter is this Lysandra. I mean, it's kind of gotten value later on in the draft as Iceborn, you know, maybe don't have a whole lot of options as to what they want to go towards left in support, as it was very heavily targeted away. What are your thoughts, Oz?
Well, Strawberry do up the tempo at the very least. Lucian Nami really going to help them, you know, keep that tempo up that they so desperately needed last game. I think it's to answer your Leona question. It's just because Leona is just such a good pick into the MF. You force her to like move out of her ult. You also force the MF to take cleanse, which is kind of not that ideal, right? You'd much rather have your MF taking something like the barrier so she can trade very aggressively in the lane. So not necessarily a bad ban. And the Alistar is interesting. I think it can do okay. It is going to struggle quite a bit in lane, but we are going to be ready for the game here shortly. But I think here that Iceborn has an interesting idea. It just comes down to whether or not they have the execution to do so. I think also the X factor coming in for Strawberry here is that the Nami wave is kind of like the pseudo Leona ult, being able to cancel out the MF ult, but you just have to be on top of your game.
Well, getting into game 2 here, some nice cinematics. Up against Strawberries, the Strawberry Dolors, and Iceborn Crashouts. Again, it was a very solid early game from Iceborn in the first game. Some mechanical and macro misplays later on in the game nearly cost them their gold lead, but really nice dragon stacking early from Iceborn as well as a 5-man stack in this mid-brush. Jae Young, very close, will spot out this invade and give a nice thumbs up here as Yengu uses the sweeper to clear out the rest of Iceborn. And so far, no wards have been placed down for Iceborn, so it might just be a invade. There are the deep wards now from the Strawberries, and Iceborn will walk in on the other side, place some wards down of their own. The thing here, though, is that Iceborn have remained in the... Sorry, the Dolors have remained in the jungle of Iceborn as they've swapped sides. So this invader will come through. So far, Daro still hovering for some deep late wards, but Super Beans is starting on the top side. So if he doesn't gamble the vertical jungling, as it will be spotted out here as Yengu goes in onto, we'll show them all, takes quite a lot of damage there. Jae Young as well, taking a big chunk of health. The heal forced to be used early. At least now Super Beans will know where the start is, but this bot lane is still walking in.
This is very interesting coming out here. Flip on the buff, maybe. Oh, flash out for Jae Young. Well,
the bot lane is ruined.
Yeah. Oh, Yengu! He makes it last game. Absolute goated W flash. Getting it going early, and for whatever reason, Iceborn just choosing not to just like hard shut their wave is actually sacrilege. Oh,
nearly another really early solo kill. Daro proving to be the better top lane in this scenario. As we're going to jump into a replay here, Oz. The flash in here at the end, really nice from Yengu.
Jae Young actually not window shopping, does actually catch that, but still. You guys are level 1! You're level 1! We are
completely sacking bot lane right now. This is... I'm just going to say it. This is wrong. This is incorrect from Iceborn. They are on an Alistar level 1 and an MF level 1 with nothing to ricochet off of, chasing Xin Zhao out of the invade. Okay, fine. He's buying time. Sure, that's whatever. And the jungle resets and the clear's a little slower, but the bot lane is ruined. It's completely ruined. You are so far behind in XP now. For the next 5 minutes, you're going to be under your tower. Lucian Army will have control of the map. And okay, sure, Super Beans is faster on the clear, but he's not able to invade any more of the camps, right? Yengu still able to go down to the bot side and collect his own camps as Concerned Badger takes a really nice trade in as we take a visit back in the bot lane. Recently, there's Orianna changes, Oz. The level order are a bit different now, more of a Q-max start, and not over-committing with the W as often as possible.
Yeah, and just to briefly talk about, like, they delayed Xin Zhao quite a bit, right? But he's still ultimately going to get every single camp here unless a crazy invade comes out of Super Beans, which isn't really going to happen, especially if he gets the scuttle. So, in reality, is Cleos is, you know, playing around. Nice edge there is actually Super Beans will find the invade thanks to the Xin Zhao reset coming through. Probably quite a bit of gold thanks to the first blood going over towards Yengu. We'll have that call field. That's actually a nice W from Sekowitz.
And a stun as well here from Darrow hits, and the shield comes through. This top lane is still very Darrow focused, but this time it feels a little more calm for Iceborn, or I guess I should say as a Strawberries viewer, the Volibear was picked later in the draft. It was picked against Dicasante, so you're a little bit happier that it's at least Iceborn getting the counter pick. Last game, it was the Ambessa picked against the Scion, and the Scion was still winning. Yengu finding Super Beans here on the Wolves, but will think twice about his decision as the bot lane roams up again. Stacking some more minions, or Wave is stacking actually, but confirm. Badger catches the wind, becomes lightning, but there'll be no knock-up from Yengu. The dragon has spawned, and Yengu and the Strawberries really have control over the entire bot side of the map right now. They can do whatever they please, and that'll be the first Drake to them.
This is a much more winning. Q3 will miss from Sekowitz there, but much more winning position here for Strawberry comparatively to last game. And Darrow
will be able to get the shield and a little bit of damage there, but Kleos in mid is forced to flash away as Super Beans. Really nice gank there from the top side brush. This game feels very contentious right now. It's not a slow game.
Nice
Hold on, Sekowitz. Really nice flash away there from Darrow and preps the shield ready to go. Does have the TP available, so should be able to base and TP in. Yengu will be spotted on this tri-brush ward as he walks to the Gromp, but we'll show them all. He's hovering in the side and will be spotted up here, knocked up, but Yengu taking a whole lot of damage and just dies.
So something like Yengu having a great early game is great and all, but I'll be honest, like he has to know that he's been on wards like the entire time. Like, just look at the CS difference now. Like, it's 20 CS. He's just sacking all of his camps. Now he's walking topside, by the way. He's gonna have no camps here either. So somehow what was a great early game plan is just completely like getting thrown back in their face because this Xin Zhao is over a level and a half behind at this point. Level 6 going to be picked up here by Super Beans off of probably these two camps in topside for him. That Yengu really far behind. Just going for needless invades with really no team help. We'll show them all, you know, with a great heads-up play, to be honest, you know, able to find the Xin Zhao on the bump there. Thanks to the Warden try, but yeah, level 6 picked up off their trucks. So, Super Beans up quite a lot of XP. And again, if you're going to go for those plays, you have to recognize you're going to be down some tempo because you are getting contested quite a lot. But again, it's been kind of Iceborn's game plan to really fight the Xin Zhao on these camps. And it just hasn't really seemed to bother Yengu all that much as now. Please. Not gonna find too much in the... Ooh!
Shockwave in mid, but no first item completed. It's enough. Badger just takes down Kleos, who had ult available. Nothing that the Lysandra can do. Really nice solo kill from Concerned Badger. And the thing was about this game state that's right now is Yengu will find another topside invade. Sorry, bot side invade, I should say. And, you know, even the CS up a little bit as we take another look back at this. Ult's available for Kleos, but really nice play, really well played, sorry, from Badger.
Yeah, I mean, if he just ults right here, he just doesn't die. Like, if you just ult the Shockwave, which you have plenty of time to do, as actually now gank in the mid lane, this could actually turn out great.
There's the ult that wasn't used, and a really easy kill from Yengu. So, I mean, what can you say? Kleos walks back in the lane, has ult from not using it before, but 3 grubs go over to Ice. And I want to continue my point about this bot lane that I was going to touch on. We'll show them all, despite one of the worst level 1s I've ever seen, is up gold due to the kill. Yengu now in the bot side, continuing to find aggression here onto Darrow now. As Kleos is rotated down but doesn't have ult available, Darrow taking a lot of damage and will fall. Jae Young now pathing over to try to catch some of the wave that's being pushed on the tower, but will be zoned away from any of that gold. We'll show them all has lane swapped up to the top side, So he's laning 1v1 against the Cassante. The jungler did take all of the wave there. So Lucian Nami taking a base instead. But yeah, it feels like Iceborn had a really behind, I'll say now, level 1 from this Alistair and this MF, and is basically even in CS before the lane swap even. Got a kill. And Yengu really, really falling behind in the jungle clear.
Yeah, I mean, 30 CS down now doesn't matter as much because level 6 coming out for Yengu, and obviously some great plays, picks up a kill in mid, and then also the bot lane play is great as well. So it does even out that gold quite a bit. So the problem is again, if you're gonna make this like early game play, and you know that Iceborn is like contesting you this hard, at some point you just need to sack it until your team gets priority, because they are gonna contest you. As actually, Sakowitz.
Ooh. It could have been through the wall, but all out nonetheless. All out, all in. Sakowitz takes down Dolor in the top lane, finally finding some agency in the top lane. A really nice solo kill for the Cassante. Calling out as well in mid now. Concerned Badger takes about quarter of his HP bar, maybe a little bit more there, a third of his HP bar taken down by the culling. But the Lucian Nami in mid, something that I love to see early. Try to guarantee this mid push consistently through the game. Yengu now wrapping around down behind the bot lane. Kleos will find the ult. Onto will show them all. No cleanse is right, but push under tower from Yengu and a really nice knock up as well. There's the bullet time, but
oh, nice bubble.
Bubble has been catch, flash forward and a flash trade with the heal, but Concerned Badger is here and a shockwave will hit 2. The wave will do nothing as a double kill is picked up from Super Beans. Jae Young still continuing to walk forward. The second charge of the Cyclone is used for not a whole lot, but the dive is being prepped here. There is a little bit of the wave left. Concerned Badger will pinch on the other side of the fight. The wave is trying to be cleared away, but the dive comes through. That's the first one being slain. Flash away from Super Beans. It's a 1-for-1 on the other side. It's not super clean, but it ends up being a very Iceborn favored trade.
Yeah, so we're going to get a replay here, but really, so we'll show them all with just excellent flash timing here and really good peel coming from Jae Young. Kleos hopes to flash out thanks to the bullet time. Really nice bubble, but December cancels the auto attack, and it allows we'll show them all to just flash away, and then the collapse from Badger with the double man shockwave just leads up to both of these members on Strawberry to get dove. Unfortunately here, not enough wave clear. And it is a decent attempt. They do try to create some space here, but just really nothing they can do as a nice collapse coming in from Iceborn. But realistically, it kind of just does feel like Iceborn are just outclassing Strawberry this match. As Kleos.
Well, he split fight. Lots happening on the map right now. Concerned Badger solo killing Kleos, but on the top side, what is Yengu doing?
I don't know. I don't know. He's 40 CS down.
He's 40 CS down, invading Wolves 1v4. Don't worry, guys. I'll get the Wolves. It'll save the game. 2 Drakes now have been taken, 1 apiece. It is Mountain Soul this game. And despite some potential protests from the jungler who maybe didn't want to play Xin Zhao this game, this was first picked as well, by the way. The game is still relatively close in terms of gold. Iceborn lead by about a 2k lead. Headbutt Pulverize found by Young Jay, and the bullet time won't get a whole lot. December continuing on, trying to find some damage left over, but the Unbreakable will be used by Jay Young, so the damage won't be as nasty from this Lucian.
Okay, so this is now the second time we've seen Kleos play, like, do this, like, weird, like, trade pattern against Badger where Badger just kills him. But Kleos just never using ult. Finally, we'll use it here. Has the E away, so should be okay.
This might be round 3 here. No flash available for Concerned Badger, so we'll just go an ult for ult trade that very heavily favors Badger. You talk about it, you breathe it into life, Oz. Another bad trade for Kleos. Pathmaker goes forward, and a bit of a slow here from Sakowitz, but won't be able to find a knockback or an all-in. Is this, I'm going to ask, is this a play on like Psychowitz from Victorious? Is that what this name is? It's been bugging me this whole time. I can't put my finger, like, is that what it is?
I mean, I don't know if it is, but I feel like it could be. But gonna need some,
You know what it is, though? It's Super Beans up to the top lane. Psychowitz now caught out. Pathmaker will land, and the all-out hits up, but a beautiful headbutt. Doesn't manage to get the pulverizer. Psychowitz flashes away, but chasing out here, the Pathmaker goes forward. Yengu chasing out. The heal is used by Young Jay. There's the wind becomes lightning, but a really nice knock up and a pushback under tower. Yengu uses the Crescent Guard, but a really nice tidal wave separates the fire. The bubble land onto Super Beams, and a shutdown goes over to December. An overplate in the top lane from Iceborn. They chase just too far. Kleos as well will be able to get the bot lane turret. We'll show them all. We'll get the turret in the mid, and the top lane turret will also fall, as a lot happens over the course of the map. Oz, let's take a look back at a replay here.
Yeah, so here it's just a bit of an overplay. Great look from Jae Young to hit the double man pulverize here into the headbutt onto Yengu here. Really well played. But unfortunately, Yengu does have flash, so going to be able to get the Crescent Guard and the flash away before the tower shot goes off, and an excellent bubble coming through from Coco. Sets up a shutdown kill. More action, though. Kleos, what are you doing there?
Yeah, I was watching that the whole time. He was being chased in a circle by Concerned Badger around the entire map. He pushed him all the way into his into his own jungle, tried to get a reset, I guess, and, you know, really nice pathing from Jae Young on the other side. Finds the headbutt back in, and yeah, Kleos has had a pretty unfortunate game so far. On this Lysandra, the Herald will be taken by the Strawberries, however.
Disgusting.
No vision right now. The Strawberries as... Ooh, bit of a misplay there from Jae Young. The Herald is being used as well, so this is... I don't know what's happening, but a double path making backwards to bullet time as well. The Cyclone layered on top. The first kill will be Yengu. The second kill will be Sakowitz. Caught in their own jungle, but December's doing quite a lot of damage here. Force a dash and heal away. Iceborn Crashouts on the chase. Flash forward. Doesn't find the headbutt. Kokoa taken down on the other side of the fight as well. Concerned Badger flashes forward and nearly dies to tower, but a double kill for Super Beans. It's all over the place this game, Oz, but Iceborn, I'm pretty sure, are in control of this game.
Oh, man. So, I can't. Oh, alright, I'll collect myself. Alright, so Iceborn. They do set up an excellent trap here. Just unfortunately, a little bit of a misplay coming in from Jae Young. They don't confirm the kill immediately, but a pretty decent bullet time. Full channels out onto two members. Yengu utilizing the Crescent Guard so late. Takes so much damage from
Jae Young, by the way.
But
look at this flash headbutt.
Please, man, I'm trying.
Ready? Here it is.
Drake will go the way in the picture-in-picture, but just barely out of range there, thanks to the move speed from the Nami. But December, unfortunately, not able to find the kill. Or, sorry, not able to find the kill on the Orianna and will go down under tower. But for whatever reason, one of our most important teamfighting members is chasing the Volibear top lane, and that's Lysandra. I feel like Strawberries all over the place this game, like this back.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, Yengu finding Daru in the brush here on the top side, but Daru with the shield and the Cosmic Drive, able to walk away just a little bit. Ults over onto the Krugs. Yengu doesn't have any vision to chase, as Kleos does also dash over the wall, but won't be able to continue the fight forwards. Daru loses ult, but saves his life. Now, Oz, the Herald was also used in that fight. I believe, on watching that back, it was supposed to be a ward, but Crescent Guard really well timed. Should save Yengu's life just right now, but never mind. There's no saving this jungler. His Concerned Badger is just winning 1v2 in the mid lane. Culling is out. The movement speed from Command Dissonance will mean that there is a bit of a chase, but no kills from this mid laner, who is really, really far ahead, but a pretty interesting build. Blackfire Torch into Bloodletters for this Orianna.
Interesting choice of going pen this early, as Kleos might find a solo kill.
All right, we got one on the board. Very, very nice from Kleos. After a sea of mistakes, a nice overstay in the top lane catches out Daru. The Atacon will be spawning in 1 minute's time in the bot side, which, if this game is anything to go off of, will be a absolute massacre. Sakowitz now getting chased out, but... Or flash forward, actually. Pathmaker and the all-out used. Oh, really nice. Well played there from Sakowitz to dodge away from the shockwave. Yengu is also down in this bot brush now, but Super Beans is also path down here. Not a whole lot Sakowitz can do anymore. Yengu being targeted now by Super Beans as well, and Jae-Young everywhere on the map it feels this game. His tidal wave will buy a little bit of time, but Super Beans will move further forward and take down the opposing jungler. It's just more kills for Iceborn and more gold in the pocket of this Wukong.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Iceborn is just completely outclassing Strawberry. I said it once, I'll say it again. As Young Jay.
That was one of the worst caster curses I've ever seen in my entire life, by the way. That was horrendous.
You just can't make it up. You just cannot make it up. Can't script it to be better, but DPN.
DPN from Sakowitz. Yeah, they're going to rip this Atacon with no jungler right now, as they are starting it up indeed. Super Beans is around and does have flash available. Daru still in the top lane, who also has TP. He could TP down. So far, is not doing it. Atacon will be walked away from. It's still being leashed though. Yengu now with his team. So the smites are both here. But Yengu doesn't have full upgraded smite. Concerned Badger will fall down before getting a shockwave off. Big shutdown onto December. And a flash forward from Super Beans won't be a whole lot here. Knocked up. Strawberries are winning this fight. Really nice tidal wave forward as Daru is now being focused out. Jae-Young tries to flash over the wall with a pulverize, but won't get a whole lot. Daru as well, trying as he might. Will flash forward for a kill here. But finally, the Strawberries get a fight that they need. The Atacon wasn't taken, and there's a dragon in 1 minute, but much needed gold in the pocket of this Lucian.
Okay, so what should have been the talking point this game between, as we're literally going to see it in this replay, but the biggest talking point of the strength of the comp coming out of Strawberry is this exact thing where they get the Lissandra ult, and you pair that with a Zin's out damage, and you can just blow up any squishy target, and that should just be able to punish the Orianna. But this is the first time, or I guess second time this game besides the gank, that's really happened. So they are able to connect here, and it is going to be an Atacon coming in for Strawberry, as finally, after a slew of mistakes, turn it around and put themselves in a favorable position. Also to mention, December able to dish out a lot of damage in this fight.
Very unchecked.
So really, really, really well played coming out of December. Finding the important members, you know, being able to essentially 1v1 will show them all is really where you want to be. But Soul Point now spawned in.
Yeah. I agree with you. Definitely, we could have touched on the Lissandra and the Zinzar combo, but again, on the other side, the Wukong and the Orianna, that's a great combo in and of itself, right? Ball onto Wukong, so much gap close on that Wukong. The combination with the Cyclone is a lot of CC and damage at once. Ton of burst damage as well, layered up with the bullet time. We haven't really seen a whole lot of that either. So maybe some mid-jungle synergy we need to see from both of these teams, but definitely on the side of Strawberries, as you can see what happens, as you pointed out, when it goes in their favor. The third dragon, however, will be taken, or the fourth of the game, sorry, the third for Iceborn. Soul Point now will be taken by Iceborn with very little contestation. Atacon was taken by the Strawberries. Daru in the bottom lane here can check on the HUD, 26 flowers for Iceborn, and they did not get the Atacon. If we could check up and see how many flowers that the Strawberries have in a moment. But I imagine, considering it was 26 for Iceborn, that it's not a whole lot for the Strawberries. So despite getting it, yeah, it feels good. You get the upgraded petals, you get the passive from it, but you don't actually get a whole lot of flowers to yourself. It's only 27. That's really not a whole lot, but Command Badger caught on a side lane, forced to flash away, but look at the pathing from Strawberries. This is a dead Orianna. Nothing that she can do. As the culling will come out and the kill will be donated over to December. Really nice play from Strawberries, catching out, but over the wall here. Zinzao will be spotted as December might walk into a brush here, but Iceborn don't want to pull the trigger just yet. Jaeyoung is going to be sacrificed here by Iceborn, where I think I agree with you. That looked like an engage to me, but Iceborn just want to take a reset.
I mean, it got sniffed out coming through by Strawberries. So Strawberry excellently don't walk into the trap. Dara will be able to pick up this bot tier 2, but in reality, a lot of control as actually engaged in the mid lane.
Tidal Wave will stop the engage forward, and now it's Strawberries on the march, targeting out this tier 2 in mid. Only 1 minion will remain, so tower won't fall just of yet. Look at the long flank from Darrow. He is really far behind, and he is marching forward as well. As the Baron spawns on the top left, Darrow will decide not to go for the engage as his team was a bit too far away. Probably a good decision there, but a really nice tidal wave from Kokoa.
Yeah, Baron spawned in now. Now, the biggest thing here is something that Strawberry has done is really pull back on just like having these very weird where you just walk into the enemy jungle by yourself. Now they're walking around as a unit with the important members of your team, which is working wonders. And I can't believe it, but it's happening right now. December 6-2-4 on the Lucian has really made a huge impact on this game. But still to be seen, as well as realistically, we haven't really seen that like kind of all-out team fight just yet, where it is a 5v5. So waiting on that to happen, as it can pretty much decide the game. There are a lot of tools for Iceborn to win that fight very hard if, you know, their set pieces connect. So it just comes down to execution at the moment, as actually December in an interesting place, but doing so much damage on Super Beans.
Well, Super Beans walks very far forward. We'll show them all the tidal wave as well, but the Cyclone nearly turns it around. We'll show them all flashes forward and won't be able to get the kill. It's a double kill onto December as he continues it out onto Jaeyoung. Darrow now being hit by this Castante, but a beautiful bubble onto Darrow. Dash away from December. And a triple kill for the Lucian. He is absolutely gliding. Jaeyoung, a sliver of HP left, but 4 down for Iceborn, and that will probably be the game as we have a look back at some really nice kiting.
Yeah, so look at how Jaeyoung just dodges Jaeyoung's engage. You know, December just pops off in this fight, crucially living at 1 HP there, and the Nami heal coming through. So just excellent gameplay coming out of December. And if this is someone who needed to come alive for Strawberry, is definitely doing so now, as backs will be had. And again, crucial dodge coming out of the middle, you know, the center of the Volibear ult, so December doesn't die again. Just excellent kiting, dodging the Alistar engage, dodging Darrow, like absolute glide, but Soul potentially dropped here by Strawberry.
Whoa, this is interesting. A near ace from the Strawberries into them getting no Baron and maybe not even being able to deny this Soul. Yengu is around the corner, being knocked away by Jaeyoung here. Starkowitz is in the pit, but that's Mountain Soul for Iceborn. Jaeyoung will be targeted out first and falls down, and Concerned Badger in the middle of it all. Super Beans tries as he will to get in, but it's Soul for the Nexus. There's Strawberries, 5 strong, start marching down the mid lane. Iceborn take a quick base, but it's a 2v5. Iceborn have to defend strong here. The bullet time is still available, but Darrow doesn't really have a whole lot of tools to work with, and neither of them have flashes. The wave will be cleared out by the bullet time, which will buy a moment for these respawns to come in from Iceborn. Jaeyoung will be the first to spawn, and Command Badger after that. Strawberries look like they don't want to take this risky end call and instead opt to path towards the Baron and steal away some of these important camps here. But it's still Soul, Mountain Soul for Iceborn. They're going to walk in fully blind here as Darrow may be caught out here. as he walks in, but instead, it's actually will show them all who gets insta-killed in the fight as the face check comes through. Really good patience from the Strawberries here. Soul does not matter, but no wave still yet for the Strawberries. They clear out the wards here for Iceborn Crashouts, and instead looked to be going for the bot lane turret and inhibitor. A very slow, methodical end here. Concerned Badger takes half of his HP from the culling. The bot lane inhibitor will be taken down. Strawberries decide that it is now time to try to end the game, but the wave clear is pretty solid for Iceborn. So again, Strawberries win the fight. They get some kills, but they're not able to open up the game and really close out the game. Like, there's no Baron here because Iceborn again have respawned. The health bars from Strawberries are slowly tanking it down. The blue orb from Iceborn Crashouts will spot the Baron. This is another exact same situation. Daru walks past, and here comes the fight again. The tidal wave will hit them all, and Concerned Badger remains, but now will be taken down. Super Beams as well, a double kill for Cleos. And finally, that should be the game, as there is a wave in mid. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But Oz, fool me 3 times, and the game goes to Strawberries.
Honestly, what a cinema. Just absolute cinema. The whole game is just cinema. That's the only way I can put it. But I'll be honest, if December can play like this, why are we picking him Jinx? 14, 2, and 9 on the Lucian. And the game goes to waste to Strawberry. But also, guess what happened this game that happened crucially last game as well? Iceborn randomly get picked in the mid to late game. And it just never stops happening. It just rolls over. They don't get a big enough lead in the early game. Ding, ding, ding. I mean, ultimately, Strawberry's macro wasn't necessarily the greatest that game because they end up giving Soul for completely free. It did ultimately lose, turn into a losing fight, but still doesn't matter, right? Strawberries just... Something about the Strawberries team being able to find, the trap 3 times in a row, I don't get it. I don't get it. Just give up Baron. It doesn't matter. Look at the damage coming out of December, by the way. 40,000 some damage. December. What an absolute, dominant showcase. But my god, did he have to work for this game because his top side really, really, really did not want to connect for a majority of the game. They did turn it around. Cleos, in the team fights, really phenomenal play. But while, going against these 1v1s against Orianna, never pressing your ultimate button on yourself to keep yourself alive from the shockwave, or on the Orianna so you just don't die. I don't know. And you're also playing Zinzal Lissandra, so you just get to point and click the Ori and it dies. I don't know. Early game here for Strawberry, leaving a lot to be desired. But as far as it comes late game, their team fighting has been, for the most part, quite good. And they are great at finding these picked out members from Iceborn, which is also fault of Iceborn in general. That was a trend that happened last game, but they were just so far ahead it didn't matter. This game, they really didn't push the tempo like they could last game, due in part because of December. And also, something that was so unique to this game is Strawberry had such a good opening, but then they just completely tossed it all away. So I don't know. Cinema game.
Yeah, it felt kind of like Cleos, Yengu, Sakowitz didn't particularly want to win the game at the beginning, but December locked them all in. Great performance on the Lucian, and honestly, like you said, great team fighting in the later stages of the game. But you highlighted it perfectly. We're touching on last game, Iceborn having some missteps towards the late game, had a really, really solid early game and a really good, solid early game comp. And due to how late game Strawberry's comp in game 1 was, they weren't able to capitalize off of the mistakes that Iceborn made. But in this game, the game was close enough. Iceborn still had, they got sold that game again. But yeah, absolutely right. The way you pointed it out, you can't be getting caught in the late game the mid to late game in general, like Iceborn was in that game. Strawberries able to perform very, very well towards the later stages of the game. So we've got two stories here, which is kind of all woven into one. The early game dominance from Iceborn and the late game dominance from the Strawberries. Which will prevail in our final third game? We're going to find out after a short break. We'll see you soon. It's still being leashed though. Yengu now with his team. So the smites are both here. But Yengu doesn't have full upgraded smite. Concerned Badger will fall down before getting a shockwave off. Big shutdown onto December. And a flash forward from Super Beans won't be a whole lot here. Knocked up. Strawberries are winning this fight. Really nice tidal wave forward as Daru is now being focused out. Jaeyoung tries to flash over the wall with a pulverize, but won't get a whole lot. Daru as well, trying as he might. Will flash forward for a kill here. But finally, the Strawberries get a fight that they need. The Anaconda wasn't. Crashouts will spot the Baron. This is another exact same situation. Daru walks past. And here comes the fight again. The tidal wave will hit them all. And Concerned Badger remains, but now will be taken down. Super Beans as well, a double kill for Cleos. And finally, that should be the game. As there is a wave in mid. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But Oz, fool me 3 times. And the game goes to Strawberries.
Honestly, what a cinema. Just absolute cinema. The whole game is just cinema. That's the only way I can put it. But I'll be honest, if December can play like this, why are we picking him Jinx? 14-2-9 on the Lucian.
That will probably be the game, Oz. We have a look back at some really nice kiting.
Yeah, so look at how Jaeyoung just dodges Jaeyoung's engage. You know, December just pops off in this fight, crucially living at 1 HP there, and the Nami heal coming through. So just excellent gameplay coming out of December. And if this is someone who needed to come alive for Strawberry, is definitely doing so now, as backs will be had. And again, crucial dodge coming out of the middle. You know,
where the start is, but this bot lane is still walking in.
This is very interesting coming out here. Flip on the buff, maybe. Oh, flash out for Jaeyoung. Well,
the bot lane is ruined.
Yeah. Oh, Yengu! He made.
Try to guarantee this mid push consistently through the game. Yengu now wrapping around down behind the bot lane. Cleos will find the ult. Onto will show them all. No cleanse is right, but push under tower from Yengu and a really nice knock up as well. There's the bullet time, but
oh, nice bubble.
Has been catch, flash forward and a flash trade with the heal, but Concerned Badger is here and the shockwave will hit 2. The wave will do nothing as a double kill is picked up from Super Beans. Jaeyoung still continuing to walk forward. The second charge of the Cyclone is used for not a whole lot, but the dive is being prepped here. There is a little bit of the wave left. Concerned Badger will pinch on the other side of the fight. The wave is trying to be cleared away, but the dive comes through. That's the first one being slain. Flash away from Super Beans. So what preps the shield ready to go. Does have the TP available, so should be able to base and TP in. Yengu will be spotted on this Tri-Brush ward as he walks to the Grump, but we'll show them all. Is hovering in the side and will be spotted up here, knocked up, but Yengu takes
the Zinzel on these camps, and it just hasn't really seemed to bother Yengu all that much as now. Please, not gonna find too much in the. Ooh!
Shockwave in mid, but no first item completed. It's enough. Badger.
That's really happened. So they are able to connect here. And it is going to be an Atacon coming in for Strawberry, as finally, after a slew of mistakes, turn it around and put themselves in a favorable position. Also to mention, December able to dish out a lot of damage in this fight.
Will be taken by the Strawberries, however.
Disgusting.
No vision right now. The Strawberries as, ooh, bit of a misplay there from Jaeyoung. The Herald is being used as well, so this is I don't know what's happening, but a double path backwards, the bullet time as well. The Cyclone layered on top. The first kill will be Yengu. The second kill will be Sakowitz. caught in their own jungle, but December's doing quite a lot of damage here. Force a dash and heal away. Iceborn Crashouts on the chase. Flash forward. Doesn't find the headbutt. Kokoa taken down on the other side of the fight as well. Concerned Badger flashes forward, and it's still being leashed though. Yengu now with his team, so the smites are both here. But Yengu doesn't have full upgraded smite. Concerned Badger will fall down before getting a shockwave off. Big shutdown onto December. And a flash forward from Super Beans won't be a whole lot here. Knocked up. Strawberries are winning this fight. Really nice tidal wave forward as Daru is now being focused out. Jaeyoung tries to flash over the wall with a pulverize, but won't get a whole lot. Daru as well, trying as he might. Will flash forward for a kill here. But finally, the Strawberries get a fight that they need. The Anaconda wasn't. Crashouts will spot the Baron. This is another exact same situation. Daru walks past, and here comes the fight again. The tidal wave will hit them all. And Concerned Badger remains, but now will be taken down. Super Beans as well, a double kill for Cleos. And finally, that should be the game, as there is a wave in mid. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But Oz, fool me 3 times, and the game goes to Strawberries.
Honestly, what a cinema. Just absolute cinema. The whole game is just cinema. That's the only way I could put it. But I'll be honest, if December can play like this, why are we picking him Jinx? 14, 2, and 9 on the Lucian.
That will probably be the game, Oz. We have a look back at some really nice kiting.
Yeah, so look at how Jaeyoung just dodges Jaeyoung's engage. You know, December just pops off in this fight, crucially living at 1 HP there, and the Nami heal coming through. So just excellent gameplay coming out of December. And if this is someone who needed to come alive for Strawberry, is definitely doing so now, as backs will be had. And again, crucial dodge coming out of the middle.
Where the start is, but this bot lane is still walking in.
This is very interesting coming out here. Flip on the buff, maybe. Oh, flash out for Jaeyoung. Well,
the bot lane is ruined.
Yeah. Oh, Yengu! He made.
Try to guarantee this mid push consistently through the game. Yengu now wrapping around down behind the bot lane. Cleos will find the ult. Onto will show them all. No cleanse is right, but push under tower from Yengu and a really nice knock up as well. There's the bullet time, but
oh, nice bubble.
Bubble has been catch. Flash forward and a flash trade with the heal, but Concerned Badger is here, and a shockwave will hit 2. The wave will do nothing as a double kill is picked up from Super Beans. Jaeyoung still continuing to walk forward. The second charge of the Cyclone is used for not a whole lot, but the dive is being prepped here. There is a little bit of the wave left. Concerned Badger will pinch on the other side of the fight. The wave is trying to be cleared away, but the dive comes through. That's the first one being slain. Flash away from Super Beans. So what preps the shield ready to go. Does have the TP available, so should be able to base and TP in. Yengu will be spotted on this Tri-Brush ward as he walks to the Grump, but will show them all. Is hovering in the side and will be spotted up here. Knocked up, but Yengu takes
the Zinzel on these camps, and it just hasn't really seemed to bother Yengu all that much as now. Not gonna find too much in the... Ooh!
Shockwave in mid, but no first item completed. It's enough. Badger.
That's really happened. So they are able to connect here. It is going to be an Atacon.
Well, Oz, we're here. There's a third game of some absolute cinema or chaos, whichever way you want to think about it, and I'm going to sit up one more time to hopefully lock in for this game, as we'll definitely need it. Bans so far are remaining the same with the Gwen and the Jarvan. Remember last game, some change-ups. The Xin Zhao and the Wukong were let through. Felios and I don't remember the other one were banned away. Some change-ups already.
Yep, Hui being banned away. I mean, Hui I think is in a okay spot. I won't say he's like pick ban, but I think he's like a consistent like A tier champ. Pantheon, you know, getting away the global pressure is, you know, sometimes global can be pretty hard to deal with. Karma, though, gonna remain banned. I think Karma's an excellent support, so the ban's been tracking the whole way through. Don't hate it. But Strawberry, once again, actually going to be on the blue side, so no switch up here from Iceborn coming into this match after the last one. Now, something I would really like to see from Iceborn is they had so many team fight. Oh, yo, we're already starting it off strong with a Rise first pick. I really want to see Iceborn, though. If you're going to play a team fight comp, A, you actually have to team fight with your team fight comp, and B, you need to be on the same page. But we're going to get the Showmaker Classic coming through with the
this is the Cage Roll Classic, excuse me.
Okay, pal. Come on. Showmaker, most recently playing this matchup at ASI,
He did.
and the Viego. So we're kind of getting the what should have happened last game with Yengu Cleos with like the Zen Zhao kind of, Lissandra. Happening the inverse towards Ice is Jax has kind of been making his way back throughout a couple of the elos into these like auto attack champs, things like the Viego, the Zen Zhao, the Trundle even as well. We'll be blind picking the Rakans. I respect that. Okay, I respect it.
I do as well.
Is it the best choice? Probably not, but I respect the blind pick support. And that is why you don't blind pick support.
Yeah, the other option there was a Nautilus, can do very similar, but yeah, the Renata really good at stopping the engage from the Rakan. I will say though, I think it's a bit of a skill matchup, right? Obviously, the Rakan can find some really sneaky angles and jump over walls, and the vision contest will be stronger, but when caught, the Rakan will probably just die. There's a lot of CC as well, so once once his hand gets shaken, hopefully the Mal's ult won't be getting cancelled, and he will die. But I think that Strawberries have a really solid teamfighting draft here. Not to say that Iceborn they have a great pick comp, hit the first target, a ton of CC, and obviously the research from Viego really helped with this pick style. But ADCs and top lane for Iceborn being left here. It's the Ashe pickup here first for Iceborn. True to the name, what's going to be the answer here from Strawberries?
Well, we're looking. Well, Jack's still technically flexible here. I mean, it is got kind of fake flex as it is. I mean, they're still keeping it flexible. Technically, Skarner can go back top, but I think he's going to stay. I think this will just be Skarner jungle. I don't foresee a world. But also, interestingly enough, Skarner also kind of not great into the Renata just because it's so easy to get your E canceled. But the Ezreal pickup is interesting. Doggo been having phenomenal performance on it.
Yeah.
Do we have Doggo? December, highlight of the team last game. Maybe taps into that a little bit. Maybe powered up after last game, So if December plays like he did last game, I think the Ezreal pickup is really good here. I think the Mundo is a little scary, kind of. But in reality, I think they have enough damage with the Rise, with the Jax, and then, obviously the Ezreal to, like, chip damage the Mundo, that the Mundo shouldn't be that crazy of a threat in reality. But I also don't really like the synergy coming out of the bot lane here. I think the Renata, or the Rakan blind pick, kind of... so I don't know. I really don't like the blind pick Rakan. Especially like if you were gonna play Ezreal, why not just slam Ezreal anyways? Because it's not like there's not a lot left to counter him anyways. Like, just slam it. You keep your support pick alive, and if you're thinking about playing Rakan, then you can, ban the Renata, so you don't have to deal with the Renata matchup, which is consistently one of his worst matchups of all time. And support, matchups are what drive bot lane majority of the time. So I'm just a little shocked here by the draft theory coming out of Strawberry. But even then, last game they were able to overcome the team fight dominant comp from Iceborn, so pretty easily. So hopefully they do that again. The magic still works. But for Iceborn, they have a lot of pick potential to get the Viego going. You have the Malzahol ultimate. You have Enchanted Crystal Arrow, right? Like, Viego can get very easy resets here, assuming it's kind of on someone they can kill, like the Rakan. It's pretty easy to kill this game. The Ezreal, I think it's going to be kind of hard to kill. So much like frontline to like block everything for the Ezreal that I think it's kind of impossible to get a reset through Ezreal, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, as well, you're talking about the support pick. There's a ton of things that are really good with Ezreal still available. Ezreal Leona's great, Ezreal Braum is great, Ezreal Nautilus is great. One of those ADCs that pairs well with a lot of things, and Rakan is one of them. It can be really strong, but yeah, the support picking early does sometimes tend to hurt the support matchup itself, as it does sound like there was a bit of a DC earlier, but we should be getting into our... Oh boy, there we go, never mind. It was frozen a bit there, but we're in. I think that this Strawberries comp here, Oz, so tell me what you think. really looks like a Gen G draft to me. Like I feel like this is something I could tune into a Gen G game and they'd be playing this exact comp.
If Canyon was, swapped out for Peanut, 100%.
True.
Literally
That's
1-1.
old Gen G right there.
Yeah, literally 1-1 because Peanut is still the only jungler playing Skarner, so I could definitely see this being a Gen G comp if Peanut was on it. But even then, I do also think it's like the Skarner kind of gets no value at all because he's only going to be able to like ult something like the Mundo and the Viego maybe. Because I really just don't see him getting into the backline ever. Will be PTA Ezreal once again, so no lethal tempo Ezreal, which I really just don't like. I think lethal tempo just completely outpaces at every stage, no matter what. PTA, I think Dragdar had a tweet about it a while ago, so it might not be true anymore, but that PTA basically only ever outpaces at level 1, so there's literally no point. You just always go lethal tempo, but still, some people sticking to the PTA Ezreal. Just an old man yelling at the wind, basically here. As Cleos might be able to pop the spell shield early. Oh, did not. Vision, just barely. Didn't spend the mana though, so that's nice.
Be some scaling here as well for the Strawberries with this Rise, but yeah, the Skarner can be quite difficult to land onto things like the Ashe and the Malzahar. And you were talking earlier about the matchup, as you can see the ranged versus melee support matchup right here, and the Ashe level 1 dominance is a massive HP trade, no barrier as well, so forced to put to use that pot. But also Renata into Skarner is not too bad either, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Being able to handshake him out of the E. But this does provide a window. I've been actually kind of talking about this, about Poppy comps, where you kind of just overflow usage of like a really key ability, where you essentially force their hand, they have to use it on something, which gives an opportunity for the other champs in your draft to play around it, if you're patient enough. So it could be one of these angles, right, where you force out the handshake and then the other champ, whichever doesn't get handshook, to have that engaged impact. But outside of that, I mean, also Jax, right, being able to jump in on the Jax could also be pretty impactful here. So quite a little bit of overflow or overload for the handshake this game. Gonna come down to Jae Young's usage of the ability to kind of determine how well it's going to end up. But so far, it looks like the bot lane here for Strawberry has recovered despite like really bad trades.
This is a volatile position though. Hold on, as Darrow takes a bit of a bad trade there. This is a volatile position because the wave is pushing in bot lane. Its first blood just gets solo kill, but here comes the jungle. This is what I was talking about. Super Beans flashes forward. Oh, sorry, gets the dash out of Ezreal. But yeah, the wave was pushing away, so you had to push it in, or you're getting frozen. So I send their jungler down to fight the Ezreal as he walks up, and now you're losing so much of that farm. It's going to be frozen for a while here, but very nice solo kill on the top side. It's just been happening every game. First blood in the top lane.
Yeah, and this trade immediately, like from Sakowitz, is so good. But just knows the damage really well here. Still has Lethal Temple stacked up as well, so it gets the extra auto, and then the W attack cancels. Great. Theo's, though, in trouble.
No mana, but does have the bone plating and the flash, so will take quite a lot of health in trade, but should be able to walk out of it pretty safely. Does still have 2 pots as well, but opting to take the base, you use the TP to most likely get a tier on the base, which will really help the Rise in this lane. This is kind of a, just lane shove matchup anyway, so using your abilities on the wave to force to clear out Rotator on the map with obviously the Realm Warp and Malzahar playing with his team. So yeah, now that the lane and bot lane feels much better, you've based, the waves aren't horrendous. December is able to get his tier, a refillable. We'll show them all getting a double longsword and the refillable as well, but Yengu going over the wall here. The spell shield has been used. Flash in from Sakowitz and...
Oh, nice Q snipe!
Oh, really nice snipe from Yengu. I thought that was the end of the play, but Yengu playing some American Sniper, hits the rock from nearly max range as Cleos takes a very awkward end of this trade. It's going to take another look back at this top dive.
Yeah, I mean, really well played from Yangu here. Darrow with the goes. Unable to really flash away here. Does get the heal, but Sakowitz just barely not enough damage. But thankfully, Yangu has the snipe with the rock. Thankfully, look at
He did
look
go
at this
too.
caster minion tries so hard to get in front of it, just unable to. So no hero caster, as we have a pause in the picture-in-picture. Hopefully that will be cleared up very soon, so we don't have to wait. But yeah, really well played here in the top side from Strawberry. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. Oh, actually, it could have been a problem with Darrow. So you are going to get to
I
see our
think,
faces, and we'll let you know what the pause is about shortly.
yeah, I think he's probably still dead there regardless. It was really well played from Yengo on the Skana. The spell shield was already taken away from Sakowitz, so maybe some fancy footwork might have gotten him away, but looked to me from our end at least that he played it as good as he can. Oh, sorry, good as he could have. It was just a really well executed dive.
Yeah, and as well, like, so something is like really bothering me. So Strawberry has been able now 2 games in a row to have, outside of barring like crazy throws that happened after an excellent, unique playstyle in the second game of their early game, that they can play the early game. So what is the first game about? Why are we drafting everyone scaling
So
on
the
the map?
Jinx.
Just play to win the game. Win your lanes. Like Sakowitz, right? Playing the Ambassador into the Scion, right? That's a champ that has to scale up before it can, like, again, it's a great pick into Scion because you have a lot of mobility to avoid the Q, but it does need time to scale up with the ability levels and the ability haste. And then you pick the Galio matchup, so you're hoping for like a 2v2 or to have impact to save your Jinx. And then you pick Jinx Soda bot lane, and that you're just really, really, really stuck in scaling. That you just sack the entire map essentially, and the game is over from that point because they have so much gold that even with Iceborn not really playing the mid game to late game that great, giving over multiple picks, they were still able to just slap them with the wallets. But these last two, like this last game, really showcases like when Strawberry can have these early game moments, they can look very, very, very formidable. So maybe the first game was just like, hey guys, we're going to experiment, and the experiment went very terribly wrong. Or they just genuinely thought, hey, maybe we can scale for free this game, but in reality, like, you kind of can't. Drake stacking is way too strong right now. So if you draft a losing bot lane, and you don't recover fast enough, and you just give over soul for free, the game is essentially over, because you lose so much, like, priority around the map, and that's ultimately what happened in game 1. But also, for the side of Iceborn, they need to figure things out, right? Their team fighting hasn't been the best. That's really not been their strength. But now with them being behind in the early game, it's really just not been an excellent moment. Also to mention, we are still in that pause, so that's kind of why we're yapping here. Sorry for the
Might take
yap,
a
but
stand up yet. Oh, let me back up. Just gonna stretch the back out, you know.
yeah, yeah, get that back stretched
All
up.
right.
But yeah, as we're still in the pause, but in reality, right, like, it just comes down to like Iceborn, when they aren't like really in the commanding lead, it feels like they kind of or don't really have a great idea of how to play the game, which could be
Yeah.
true. Um, Now I don't know if Iceborn has had easy matchups so far, which it could be technically true. They could have just had steamroll opponents and they've just been able to win every single game because they just steamroll the early game, right? But when you're playing something like the Strawberry team, who will capitalize on your very many mistakes that have happened throughout the series in the late game, like late game portion, you very well and easily will lose the game off of it, which they found out last game. It doesn't matter if you're Drake stacking, if December can go 14-2 on Lucian.
Yeah, that's a thing that we were talking about a bit earlier and in the break. December had an amazing performance on the Lucian. Why are we jailing him in a Jinx Sona bot lane in the beginning of the game? This man can obviously play. He's got good hands. Put him on something like the Lucian, a Corki maybe, a Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa can have some awkward early games, but can do really well either way. I think it's really, yeah, it's an interesting decision to play the way they did in game one, regardless of if it's an experiment or not. But I think they played really not interestingly, they played very. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch them play in game two.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, again, I think December was like kind of the really big thing that held over Strawberry that game because if December's not popping off that hard, I think it goes very poorly for them. But I think in general, as a update, a PC did crash, so we are waiting for the reconnect. But I think as well, like
Oh no, we get to talk more.
yeah, we get to yap more and analyze the game. My favorite part of the entire cast, like wow. But I think Iceborn in general, right? Like last game, it just came down to they're drafting this team fight style, and then none of their set pieces are ever connecting. There was never a Shockwave Cyclone, like bullet time.
Yeah.
Like every fight felt really split all the time, which you just can't really afford when you're playing like a wombo combo style. And a lot of coaches and a lot of teams really get attached to this wombo combo style because quote it's easy. But in reality, it's not because you have to be synergized with one another because all of your buttons have to hit. And if they don't hit together, you will just lose the fight.
Yeah. And I'm one of those said, not a coach, but one of the very big believers in picking simplistic on paper champions who interact with one another. I've always been a fan of, Vi, Ari, Talia, Pantheon, interchangeable with the Vi there. But you're absolutely right. When you draft things like that and your team does not play around the combo or the setup, the game becomes infinitely harder to play. Sometimes circles are a little bit easier as well, but I believe I'm going to have to move a little bit closer as we are back into game, which feels pretty good.
Yeah, more game 3 action. Let's go. So far, though, Jack's commanding lead in the top side. We'll be building Bork first this game. Cleos,
Makes
though,
sense.
we did see the very losing trade that happened right before we got that pause, so it's going to be forced to back here. Losing a bit of minions here, but still only 5 CS behind. Not going to be that bad, and can also opt to use the Realm Warp back to lane.
Yeah.
If need be, if he's going to lose too many of these minions, which, honestly, if I'm Rise this game, I really think roaming is kind of out of the table. So, I'd rip it, it is going to do so.
He's ripping it.
Yeah, going to do so. Might only miss one minion there, so, yeah, overall, not bad. Actually, it's a cannon wave, so misses none of this. Besides rolled on one creep there, but yeah, really well played coming out from Cleos. Misses 2 creeps, but oh well. You got all the XP.
Well, there's the full channel of the ult coming through, but Kokoa is around. Feels pretty bad to walk up after resetting again, and you're all of a sudden half HP. Super Beans starting up the Drake, but will be spotted by the Pink Ward. Meanwhile, the Strawberries are engaging onto Super Beans, catches into the wall. Yangu will not be able to continue up that CC chain. It doesn't have ult available just yet, but Concerned Badger has very low mana. The rest of Iceborn have rotated up from the bot lane, and the handshake onto Rakan will hit. The Battle Dance will get him out of danger. No kills, but some low health bars for majority of Strawberries and Sunbeams as well that will be able to heal up off the Scuttle. And the Honey Fruit hasn't started up the Drake just yet. Could be a bit risky, so we might just be throwing some mean glances at one another for now.
Yeah, still not level 6 here for Yangu either.
Well, Super Beams has just hit level 6 in a really nice handshake again. Yangu into the wall though, but
nice
the bailout is available, and the Heartbreaker will find the kill. First blood for Iceborn Gauntlet in this game will find the kill there, and the subsequent Drake. Really nice handshake. The bailout, well played by Jae Young.
Yeah, we're going to get a replay here, but the big thing is once again, Strawberry kind of going for a more scaly comp, so they just don't have a lot of damage. Obviously, really well played by Yangu here to get the stun onto Super Beans, but Renata's value just skyrockets here with the bailout. Able to buy time for Super Beans, and honestly, if you think about this, right, if Yangu is just level 6, that is just a free Super Beans kill 100% of the time. But no ultimate available is starting up these grubs for the Jax, which is quite impactful if they can net all 3 of these. As actually Sakowitz now hopping over to say hi to these grubs.
Should hit 6 off of these grubs, so unless he was really far behind, which is a little bit unfortunate actually. There it is. There's the level 6 hit for Yangu. So if there was a fight afterwards, it would have been pretty nice. I have to say though, I'm really happy to see the champion pool of Jaeyoung. I'm really not a fan, and I'm sure you know this, I talk about it all the time, of like support players who only play enchanters. And I'm not saying that enchanters are bad at all. They are good. But I think that they're harder to play than engaged supports, and they just get less value just in general. So far, Jaeyoung has played the Alistair in Game 2, which I'm a huge fan of, that doesn't get played enough, in my opinion. And, okay, the Alistair wasn't the prettiest cow I've ever seen, but also the Renata. I'm a huge fan of this support, and no one seems to want to play it. Jaeyoung looking pretty solid on that right now. The junglers will say hello to each other, and both decide to base in opposing brushes. Yangu will cancel that. Maybe go opt for this scuttle that's spawning in a moment. But yeah, I've been really surprised and impressed with Jaeyoung's champion pool so far, and some of the performances on said champions.
I mean, in Game 1, we had an excellent Jaeyoung performance on Janna, and I think Janna's also a very underpicked. If you are going to play an Enchanter, I think Janna is just very underpicked in general. So many moments where, like, enemy team just drafts, like, some dive chant, like dive, and they're just like, yeah, no Janna, but we're going to lock in, like, I don't know, Milio or something. And then the Milio doesn't really get that much value because it's looking on top of you.
Yeah. Ew, Veigar
yeah,
mid.
But anyways, back to this game, as still, something that has, again, popped up in this game is Yangu is actually enchanting Crystal Arrow in the mid lane.
Oh, that was really close. Really nice proactivity there. The arrow will come and check in on the top lane. Ash is one of those champions as well that the strength of the champion, especially right now, okay, it has push, it's got great range as well, decent range, I should say. But the strength comes from its utility. Vision contest, which is not a stat really that you can easily see. And the arrows, hitting those consistently, or at least putting pressure on like we've just done there, is always really good. Both junglers around this bot lane now. Could turn into a 3v3 very quickly, although Super Beams is opting to walk away. Yangu remains in this bot brush, and as this minion will die, might be able to sneak around into the next brush, but the minion positions, Yangu can't move forward without being spotted by the wave, so will instead opt to take a base here, and nothing ends up happening in the bot lane.
Ooh, Cleos, walks back in actually. Just barely.
It wasn't ult
Badger. Yeah, Badger just not in range, just barely. And
it's a knife's edge.
So yeah, just barely. Cleo's able to walk that one out completely safe. As Scuttle wheel dodge the Q, but just get picked up by the W there, as is seen on the ward. But both of these junglers pathing with each other the entire game has been electric.
This is really good play again, hovering like you just mentioned, and Super Beams is out first. There's Yangu as well. The spell shield is broken, but ult will be procced after. TP in as well, got cancelled by Cleos there. Oh, sorry, cancelled by Badger. The Cleos was TPing in. Super Beams now caught on the wrong end of the pit. Will be able to Heartbreaker away. Cleos takes a lot of damage in the trade in mid and walks back in for another quick trade and nearly loses his life, but might have baited Badger forward just enough for Krakoa to go forward. Won't be able to land that grand entrance. But I agree with you. The junglers kind of knowing exactly where each other is going to be, always going towards the same side. That fight doesn't really end in a whole lot, though.
Something, Yangu just not having E as well is really just confusing to me. Like, he got the Impale off and then ultimately just never E'd as soon as the Impale was coming off. But anyways, Super Beans with the Heartbreaker able to get over the wall to safety. So ends up in a nothing burger play for either side. Really nice TP cancel coming out of mid. I assume that's just going to be the Q since we saw the ult come in later.
Yeah.
So really well played by Badger, because I think if the TP does go through, they'll have the Realm Warp to keep chasing, and yeah, it could have definitely ended in at least one kill coming in for the side of Strawberry. So they avoid a small disaster here, thanks to the cancel from Badger.
Could have been some good gold to the side of Strawberries as well, which has very stalemated out this game. Only about 300 gold in it. Again, the junglers on the same side of the map, pathing together for a 3v3. Young Jay will find the handshake onto Yengu. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow will force the cleanse out of December, and Iceborn will force Strawberries back, but won't result in any kills just yet. Both mid laners have pathed down as well, as Yengu's caught by the stun, but Impale will land onto Super Beams. Not enough damage is yet to take him down as the invisibility comes through. Hostile takeover hits everybody, and December's forced to flash away. It's a scrappy fight, but no kills just yet as Yengu goes over the wall and gets suppressed by the Badger. We'll show them all, does end up getting the kill, and finally there's blood on the rift. So the dragon gets started up, it's spotted out by a blue ward here. Iceborn pull the dragon a little bit out of the pit, and Kleos is pathing away. Psychowitz takes the spell shield off of Darrow, but it's the Drake over to Ice.
Yeah, excellent play coming out, but we're gonna get a replay here. So again, junglers same side once again. Now Yengu is on a ward, takes quite a lot of damage here. But more importantly is when he does get the impale off, there's literally no follow-up here. And again, just never presses E. Why are you pressing your Q? Press the E for the CC, man. And a really nice hostile takeover here. But still, and then Yengu just E's in now and just gets point and click by Malzahar into a death. Like, again, your damage really doesn't matter as the starter when you have teammates around. Just get your CC off. As if he just chases his impale with the pen, it's very deadly, because you have the Viego there. If you can prevent Viego, from getting going, and you turn the numbers advantage, there's not much they can really do past that point, because they did really use everything. Hostile takeover was gone, so a lot of priority on the top side for this Herald though.
Yep, absolutely right. It's the Rise and the Mundo down in the bot side with a lot of belts to keep his pants up. Building a lot of HP is Darrow, and the only one who has TP is Kleos doesn't quite have that TP available, but neither team wanting to start up the Herald just of yet. December takes a lot of HP in trade, and here comes Super Beams, finds the stun onto Yengu. Here's the TP now from Jax, but Yengu's already been taken down. There's the first reset. This Concerned Badger will force a flash away, but the hostile takeover is not very hostile as it doesn't hit anybody, but Kakor falls anyway. Rise is rotated up, but the fight is already over. Kleos finds a root under tower, but Super Beams is just clipping on them.
Okay.
Kleos continues to fight, but should be a little bit careful here as his HP is going. We're taking a lot of tower shots here, guys. Let's play a little safer. The tower should finally fall. Maybe. There we go.
So when we get this replay of the fight, it's just, again, this kind of just showcases the problem with what happened in game one, but like the really just so much CC coming out onto Yengu. And that's kind of problematic when you're kind of the only solo engaged frontline for your team playing it.
There is a fight happening picture in picture as Yengu has gotten 2 kills right now. That's a triple kill for this Skarner and a shutdown. So only a double over to him. But yeah, Herald goes over to Strawberries as well. They just completely turned the position around. Potentially could look for a dive here as well with the Herald. Krakoa does have it in pocket. Tries to cancel the base. Will be able to do it, but gets rooted under the tower. Yeah. That's about how that should happen, I guess.
Just like we drew it up. Well, not going to talk about that. We'll continue talking about what I was initially talking about is, again, Strawberry with this kind of comp need to scale. Like, you're playing an Ezreal comp, you're playing a Ryze comp. You do not have the mid-game damage. You're playing into a Viego Malzahar. You cannot just, like, force every single fight expecting you to win it. Because right now, your Ezreal really hasn't spiked yet. He needs one more item and the completion, you know, of the tier stacks as well, but he's on the bot side.
There are lots of members passing down for Iceborn, as Sakowitz would have won that trade if it wasn't for the 4-man that is now happening onto this Jax, which feels pretty unfortunate. Does that hit in mid? Oh, it nearly did. That would have been very ridiculous, but Herald used... are you sure you're not going to get ulted here? It's not up just yet, so we'll get the crash off, but there are 4 members of the enemy team barreling up the river to stop you from taking this tower. But we saw how dominant December was on this Lucian and how good it looked when they were with an early game focused comp, or, you know, with something that December has agency on. And I'm really not sure that this is the direction, well, this is the correct direction after that Lucian game. As Super Beans will get caught out here. That's the Realm Warp in, and it was taken by Kleos as he finds multiple members here. Hostile takeover hits 2, but the quickness hits more. Kleos taken down by the Malzahar ult. A 1-for-1 so far. Yengu fighting Super Beams will be taken down as well, but December gets a shutdown, a double kill for this Ezreal before finally being taken down. It's a scrappy fight, Oz, but Iceborn seem to finally be in control of this game. Is it a ace for Iceborn?
Yeah, just a band of very interesting choices coming out of Strawberry in that fight. And it's the Viego show with the resets coming through. Realm Warp is really insane to take here in a 1v3. But he does quite a bit of damage here to the Ashe. But December not able to really like finish off this kill on the Ashe. The barrier as well coming through and queuing Super Beans. So just really odd target selection here. Should have just finished one of these off, either commit to Super Beans or commit to the Ashe, but does inevitably pick up the Ashe. But again, it's just Viego gets free resets over and over and over again. And this like filter feeding as Atacon goes the way towards Iceborn in the picture-in-picture is like just, it's so beneficial for Iceborn's comp. If you just filter yourself in one by one, you're just giving free resets over to the Viego, and that's exactly what they want.
Well, it's Soul Point as well now for Iceborn. They have Atacon. They did lose the 3 grubs earlier, but also around about a 6k, 6.5k gold lead for Iceborn. So in a very solid, strong position. This Ryze is still going to need plenty of time before fully coming online. Level 13 feels good. You've got the second level on the ult from level 11, but level 16 needed. You know, more mana obviously needed as well. The rower completion is nice handshake with Farm Cocoa and a little bit of poke damage, but then this Ashe is in a great position too, right? 2 items on the Viego, 2 items on the Mundo here, 2 items on support, which is pretty rare. And yeah, that Ryze does damage. That's a tank with full HP.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Why are we picking Kleos like champs to roam? First game he picked Galio, didn't roam ever with the ult. This game is the same exact thing. Like, the strength of Ryze obviously is a great scaling champ, but it's also the fact that he can make plays around the map with the Realm Warp, which is not taken into account at all the entire match, right? Like, he did try to TP to that one play, but he did it right in the face of the Malzahar, who canceled it anyways. But, and again, questioning, like, the thought process for Strawberry, you lost really hard when you committed to this, like, scaling bit, and you committed to it again, and you're just getting rolled once again. 7k gold lead here is now Yengu getting collapsed on. Should be okay, though.
Dodges away from the stun. Sakowitz decides to go in and does find a 2-man stun on the back of that. Sakowitz find a handshake, but a really nice impale. Won't find the kill, actually, as the hostile takeover splits up the fight, and another really great ult and a reset for Super Beams, and everybody on Strawberries just dies.
Yeah. Overextended to the Malzahar ult once again. I mean, Malzahar actually just getting insane value this game. Because Again, their set piece, their actual engage is just going in one by one by one. So the Malzahar only ever needs to worry about ulting the one person going in.
Is this it?
Like, this literally could just be the game. This literally could be the shortest game in Titan this season, but it looks like they're not committed to it. So we'll be falling off. Is Jaeyoung in a really weird spot, not gonna lie. But is able to walk himself to safety.
That was intentional. Nice handshake in the back end, yeah. But the wave clear, from the Riot's very strong, and the respawn's just too short. So they're not able to end. Psychowitz will cancel some bases and flash forward. Won't land the stun and is now surrounded by 3 people. Will be taken down pretty easily by Will Show Them All. Iceborn into the resets. Now they're on the front foot. Handshake onto Yengu, caught by the crystal arrow as well, and Yengu will fall behind his top laner. Oz, this game is falling apart very quickly for Strawberries as Iceborn continue forward. Kleos now getting slowed up by the Mundo as he does go where he pleases. That is a full tank running down my mid laner, and the game still won't be able to end just yet, but it's basically all there. Darrow takes a couple more tower shots and will actually be taken down by December, who has still, in my opinion, despite the game, he's had not a terrible performance in the Astral. It wasn't the Lucian, but he's been okay.
I mean, yeah, the thing is just like, this game is really not the fault of December. Like, what is he supposed to do? He's playing Ezreal this match. And his team is just low-key just getting perma picked out by, like, just going in one by one. So here we're going to see it again, right? So they try to find the pick onto Super Beans, but guess what? Coco goes in way too far, but then at the back, it's just, Coco decides to walk back. Then it's just Sakowitz going in by himself, and then it's just complete disaster. In the bot lane, it's engaged in the picture-in-picture again. Fighting's not over yet.
Yeah, dashes forward with the Grand Entrance, but gets caught by the ult on the backside. Super Beans will find the second one. That's another reset, ulting forward. That's a third one. Handshake as well will mean the end of the Strawberries, as a TP in will unfortunately claim the life of December, who just couldn't do enough this game. What are you supposed to do in Ezreal? Exactly like you said. And Oz, it'll take a moment, but that will be the set. Iceborn will take the third and final game, and in an absolute blowout, take the series.
Yeah, I mean, victors, well-deserved, I suppose, from the Iceborn. Really cleaned up after last game, but, I mean, to be honest, why did Strawberries go back to the scaling style comp? It didn't work in game 1. It didn't work in this game. And Iceborn, after a pretty, I'd say, disastrous game 2, really played this one well. The Viego getting a lot of value, but also on top of that, able to just cycle so many camps ahead of Yengu. Super Bean just having an excellent performance. Ignore the champions on your screen. But still, overall, Iceborn with a great win. I think both wins were very dominant, right? It's just the loss was very, very, very messy. Outside of, if we're disregarding, some of the late game kind of, picks that happened in game 1, they still had a pretty dominant showing there. But it really came off of the back of what Strawberry's drafting. And also, don't look at the Jax damage. It's completely fake. He's hitting Mundo the entire game. So in reality, like, just my Ryze is doing the lowest damage on their entire team because he's just farming the entire game. You have Realm Warp, brother. Go get active. And then the one time he chooses to Realm Warp, he Realm Warps 1v3. Strawberry, cut it out. Stop scaling. You just got to play early game. Like this, you have to play it. You cannot scale because you're just getting outpaced.
Well, stuff to learn of from that game, as if you're a coach of that team or even a player looking back on the game, you had some really good moments. December played exceptionally well on the Lucian. That should, in my opinion, be something that you're building, a game 1 comp around, really threatening the aggression, maybe going towards something like a Corki. Really dominant in the early game and has great scaling as well. But that will be it from us on the Titan Esports production. It has been myself, Jay Better, Oz, joined me by the casters, and our lovely production, Brodicus and Caddy. Behind the scenes, making all the cogs turn. Over in the States, have a good night, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I think I'm the only one from Australia here, but nonetheless, have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. Be throwing some mean glances at one another for now.
Yeah, still not level 6 here for Yengu either.
Well, Super Beams has just hit level 6 in a really nice handshake
Oh!
again. Rienga into the wall though, but
Oh, nice
the
bail
bailout
elbow!
is available, and the Heartbreaker will find the kill. First blood for Iceborn Gauntlet in this game. The Herald just as yet. December takes a lot of HP in trade, and here comes Super Beams, finds the stun. Onto Yengu. Here's the TP now from Jax, but Yengu's already been taken down. There's the first reset. It's Command Badger, so Concern Badger will force a flash away, but the hostile takeover is not very hostile as it doesn't hit anybody, but Kakor falls anyway. Rise is rotated up, but the fight is already over. Clears finds a route under tower, but Super Beams is just clipping on them.
Once again, 7k gold lead here is now Yengu getting collapsed on. Should be okay though.
Dodges away from the stun. Cycwitz decides to go in and does find a two-man stun on the back of that. Cycwitz find a handshake, but a really nice impale. Won't find the kill actually as the hostile takeover splits up the fight, and another really great ult and a reset for Super Beams, and everybody on Strawberries just dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, dashes forward with the grand entrance, but gets caught by the ult on the backside. Super Beams will find the second one. That's another reset, ulting forward. That's a third one. Handshake as well will mean the end of the Strawberries, as a TP in will unfortunately claim the life of December, who just couldn't do enough this game. What are you supposed to do in Ezreal? Exactly like you said. And Oz, it'll take a moment, but that will be the set. Iceborn will take the third and final game, and in an absolute blowout, take the series.
Yeah, I mean, victors, well-deserved, I suppose, from the Iceborn. Really cleaned up after last game, but, I mean, to be honest, why did... Looks like the bot lane here for Strawberry has